Meghla from India Sourcing Network. Welcome to the live show. We're live now. I'm Jake Hopping. I'm broadcasting through the interplanetary web network of the internet through Facebook Live, and we're streaming to you live. And Meghla's live. Say hi, Meghla.
Hi everyone. How are you?
All right, Meghla's streaming live too, and so I'm in Canada near Ottawa. If you don't know me, then go check out my Facebook bio and you can learn about me. And if you don't know Meghla, click on name and go check out her Facebook bio and learn about her too. But we're gonna talk about Meghla today and the India Sourcing Network. We're also gonna talk about the Empowery Women's eCommerce Conference, which is happening in Las Vegas. So if you haven't heard about that, then you probably missed all of the live streams we've been doing so far. And please don't miss the next ones. I expect you to attend if you're watching. Even if you're watching the replay, go and hit the other replays also. So Meghla gave me a piece of advice today. She said, Jacob, you keep sharing the scheduled meeting on Facebook, but it's 2021, it's the era of the COVID crazy rules, and so things have changed, and I need to start sharing it after we start the live. So I'm going to do that, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to give you all Meghla, and she's going to introduce herself, because she knows more about her than I do. So we have met in person multiple times, in multiple places even, right?
The first time we met,
at the same place.
yes,
We met in
at the same place, London.
And then we met again in London. And did we
Exactly.
in Vegas too?
I was in Vegas, but I don't think we met there. So yeah, but London, yeah. No, I wasn't. Yeah, we hang out online. I follow your stories, your veggies and your swims and everything. Yeah, I love watching your stories.
They're very exciting. They're there for. So okay, guys, this is a live video. If you're watching, I expect you to put down at least one comment so that we can be like, hey, so and so made a comment, and we'll put it up on the screen. So I'll give you an example of what that looks like if you're watching live. Like, let's say you're Tiffany, you want to say, hey guys, just type in hey guys in the Facebook comments, and then we'll put it up. Or let's say you're not Tiffany. Imagine for a moment you're actually Paul Chang, and you're like, hey, right? You can do that too. So these are live comments, and you can Tara Topping. Tara's my wife. She's watching live. She says, hey.
Ooh, hi Tara.
So if you're somewhere and watching the live, then definitely check it out. So Tiffany says it's hard to hear Jacob. So
Whoa, I can hear you very clearly though. That's strange.
You can hear me. I can hear you. Maybe Tiffany can't hear me though. She's got the.
What about Paul and Tara?
Yeah, let's group consensus this one. Paul, Tara, can you hear me? Tara's sitting right next to me. She can hear me already. Can you hear me through the device from another room? And Paul Chang and all the other live people, because I can see there's more than 3 people watching, so I'm not going to reveal the secret numbers, but there's people watching for sure. Anyways, well, what? It is hard to hear me? What? All right, Meg, how about now?
Oh, that's
I got this crazy microphone here. Maybe I have it set wrong.
Jacob is very low, or am I too loud? Maybe you just need to turn up the
I don't know,
audio.
we're having technical difficulties live technical difficulties. How about that? I don't know.
Paul says it's better now.
It's better now? Okay, hopefully I've been changing settings the whole time, so hopefully it's better now. All right, Meghla, you are in Singapore right now.
Yes, that's where I live.
You live in Singapore, but you haven't always lived in Singapore, so why don't you tell us about yourself and introduce yourself and your company and tell us about yourself. You're going to be one of the speakers on day 2 during the workshops, I understand. You're going to be virtually accessing the conference from Singapore. So some direct international information coming from you. And while you talk, I'm going to share the live stream so that people can watch live. And if you're watching live, highly encourage you to click on the share and then share it everywhere, really. Or a replay, you can also share it from replays. So, Meg, go ahead and here's Meg.
Yes, thank you so much, Jacob, for inviting me on this live webinar. So my name is Meghla. I'm based in Singapore. My background is basically in sourcing. I've been working in the sourcing industry for almost 20 years. I started in India way back in the year 2000. Then I moved to the Philippines. Then I went to China. I lived there for almost 10 years. And I'm currently based in Singapore for about 6 years now. So sourcing is what I do. I specialize in that. I've been focused a lot on sourcing from India in the last 3 years or so. And together with my partners, Margaret and Kevin, I'm basically helping Amazon e-commerce sellers source products from India. We we have a show called Virtual India Sourcing Show that we do every month, where we interview manufacturers from India that are vetted export manufacturers, and we interview them in live webinars, talk about their stories. They come show their products, and we are so excited that we're launching our new website next week. It's going to be at indiasourcing.net, and it's going to provide everything an Amazon e-commerce seller or an importer needs to source private label products from India, whether it's vetted manufacturers, freight forwarders, logistics companies, even a lawyer, videography, photography, everything that you need to source products from India. And we realized that a lot of people were actually sourcing products, from China, and everyone is familiar with how things in China work. But not many people are aware that India does offer a lot of very unique products, and there were a lot of what we do is basically to educate people on how to source from India and what products to source, how to negotiate with suppliers, how to find suppliers, how to work on the packaging and how logistics works from India. So there's a lot of different things that we cover, and we focus a lot on educating people as well. So Margaret and I, we do a lot of webinars in a lot of different groups. We have our own Facebook group where we provide a lot of resources. We do free webinars, and we basically give a lot of information to people to source from India. And our mission and our vision is basically to help Amazon e-commerce sellers build private label businesses that are successful, that are profitable, that are sustainable, that are unique, and that are maybe exitable, if that's a word.
I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Now it is.
A word can be created in time.
Yes,
so
it has been created today.
It is now. Meghla has spoken, and it's a word for sure. Okay, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yes, and we started in 2019 with India sourcing trip, and at that time basically we had this vision of taking people to India on a sourcing trip, on a guided sourcing trip, and helping them find products at a trade show in India. But of course then COVID happened in 2020, so we couldn't do the trip anymore, and that's why we pivoted to virtual, and we've started doing Virtual India Sourcing Show, and now we've got the website. But we took about 40 people to India on an 8-day guided tour that was a trip that was focused on learning how to source from India. So we had a 1-day conference that we did where we taught people how to find suppliers, negotiate, etc. And then it was also focused on sourcing. So we took people on guided tours to a sourcing trade show. That's one of the main export-focused sourcing trade shows in India. It's called the Delhi Fair. Jacob, do you want to mute yourself? Because I'm hearing your keyboard, and it's.
Well, that's.
I guess because your mic is pretty.
No, yeah. I know. I basically attached my keyboard to my mic so that it would be extra loud when I type.
That is a good strategy.
If I put it over here, then it sounds weird. And
yeah.
It sound like crap. All right, so I'll type less. I'm sorry. And it's okay. I type while we're streaming, just so you know it's that super live.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm still here. I'm just being awkward. All right, Meghla. So you're in Singapore. You have led and will lead trips to India to source products for online sellers. So whether they're selling on Amazon or other platforms, you can source products that are great from India. And you're going to tell us about some of those advantages and why somebody might want to source from India, and or maybe even go to India with you or a group of people to source.
Absolutely. So one of the biggest advantages is that you can find really unique products in India that you won't find in other countries. I mean, of course, China is the world's factory, and China can make anything and everything under the world. I mean, in the world. And it's not a matter of if it's made in China. It's probably, how much is it can be sourced for.
Yep.
But India has specific advantages in certain kinds of products, and those are more of the products that are made from naturally occurring materials like wood, metal, ceramic, glass, cotton. Cotton is a huge product category from India, and we don't have the website yet, Jacob, but why don't we show the India sourcing trip website, because we have that.
All right, listen, if you're watching live, turn up your volume, get ready for some exciting, cutting edge, new information from Meghla about the new website that's coming up. She's like a video genius. She's made a video pre-roll, so we're going to play it. Are you ready?
Yes!
Okay, we're going to go full screen, and I'll turn the banner off so that people can see it. All right, you got to click the play button. No, I'll click the play button. Boom! All right. Can anybody hear that? Let us know in the comments if you hear it. It's exciting. IndiaSourcing.net. Launching July 2nd and 3rd. Campaigns, plus surprises, freebies, discounts. Like, comment, share. This post to enter the lucky draw. Save the date. 12 per case. IndiaSourcing.net. See you at the launch partners. Well, that's very exciting. All right, Meghla. I bet everybody who saw the other previous two things thought we were going to talk about the Empowery Women's eCommerce conference. And we are. They're right. We're going to talk about that right now. So, all right. I'm just so excited to be doing the live stream with you that sometimes I forget what we're doing. So, you're going to be providing a workshop at the Empowery Women's eCommerce. From now on, we're just going to call it the Empowery Women's Conference in Vegas, because that's easier. So it's happening Las Vegas, July 16th and 17th. You're going to be one of the workshop providers. What are you going to do a workshop about?
So my presentation is basically going to be about sourcing from India, and I'm going to tell people why they should source from India, what are the pros and cons, because there are, of course, a lot of benefits and advantages of sourcing from India, but there are also some pitfalls that you need to avoid. So I'm going to be talking about both the pros and cons. And I'm also going to be talking about some of the differences between China and India. Because, of course, most Amazon e-commerce sellers are familiar with China, but there are some key differences that are there between China and India. So I'm going to be, hi, Margaret. Margaret is my partner at India Sourcing Network.
Hey, Margaret.
In fact, Margaret, no, she's in Australia, and she has been sourcing exclusively from India for 4 years. So if you want to get her on a live stream sometime, she's also a great guest to talk about sourcing from India. But yeah, so
Margaret,
that's going to be my
comments if you want to join another live stream in the future.
And so I'm going to be talking about differences between China and India. And then I'm also going to be talking about how to find suppliers, because that's the biggest question that people have. Okay, China is very easy. You go to Global Sources, Alibaba. Those are the two websites that you mostly find suppliers on. But what about India? Does India have an Alibaba? Does India have a similar website? And also how to vet suppliers.
You can. I give you all the permission in the world to share your secret information here as a precursor to the actual workshop. So this is not the workshop, but there's going to be a workshop. Does India have an Alibaba? You can answer these questions. I want to know. The people want to know.
Yes.
The people can comment. They're watching live. They can ask. They'd be like, Meghla, tell us. There's also a time delay. So when I say something in the Swan, we're on the other side of the planet. 12-hour time difference. It takes electricity a while to circle the globe. So
yeah,
go for it. Let us know.
Yeah, so actually India does have Alibaba. In fact, their secret link. Yes, that's a secret link. Click on that. See where it takes you.
Take a screenshot because it's secret. It's not going to be up for long.
Yeah. So in fact, there are a couple of different ways to find suppliers in India. So first of all, Alibaba and Global Sources. Those are the two good websites to start with, because those are the two export-focused websites that are out there, globally, basically. And so I would start with Alibaba and global sources, do a search for the product that you're looking for, and then use the country location filter to see suppliers from India. Because, of course, most of the suppliers on Alibaba and all are from China, but there are suppliers from India and, in fact, other countries as well. So you can go to these websites, do a country search, and see suppliers and products from India and other countries. In fact, global sources and Alibaba both have offices in India. And Global Sources, in fact, has had an office there for over 25 years, because I started working with Global Sources in India 20 years ago. And they've had an office there even before that.
Whoa.
Yes.
Meghla, hold on.
Yeah.
20 years ago, you were doing online selling in India from Global Sources. So how long have you been selling?
No, not online sell.
Oh.
No, I wasn't doing online selling. I was working in the content development department at Global Sources, and I was writing research reports and articles about how products are manufactured in India and in China after that. So I started with writing about in India, and then I moved to the Philippines and China, and there I was mostly focused on how products are manufactured and exported in in China. And I was there for 10 years, and I was doing these in-depth research reports that were sold for a couple of $100s to overseas importers who were looking to source products from China. And we used to, we had a team in China, a team of market analysts. We had a team of editors in the Philippines, and we visited factories. We did factory tours. We talked to the factory managers, to the assembly line workers, not the workers, but the managers, supervisors, and we tried to understand the entire process of how products are manufactured. And then we wrote really in-depth articles on what really affects the pricing of a product, what are the quality issues that you might encounter in products that you specifically buy. And these reports were focused on specific product categories. So, for example, kitchen appliances or stuffed toys or mobile phones, or all of these different types of product categories. So it was really, really fun to really dive deep into each of these categories and visit the factories and actually see how these products are manufactured. So that's one thing that I did when I was based in China. And then together with my husband, I also ran a sourcing agency in China, and we helped people in India source products from China. So yeah, I've been really
You've got experience both with India and with China, and now you specialize in sourcing from India.
That's right.
And why are you in Singapore?
Because I was in China previously, and my son was growing up and he had to go to school, but the school options in China are kind of limited if you are not Chinese. So we came to Singapore because the education system is much better here. There are a lot of different options for education, and yeah.
And he's like 12 now? Is he 12 or 11?
He's 10.
He's 10. All right. So you have a 10-year-old, and I have a 10-year-old, Oliver, and also a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old. You just have one kid or more than one?
I just have one kid, yes.
And I met him in London, right?
Yes, you met him twice.
I did meet him. I met him twice in London on 2 different times, like a week apart, right?
Yes.
Really amazing. Now, let me ask you this. When we met in London the second time, did you stay the whole time? Like, were you there for the whole week? Or did you, fly somewhere else and come back again?
No, we were there the whole week, and we were sort of sightseeing and, visiting different places in London. So we were there for the entire week. Then we attended Athena's party, where we met for the second time. And, after that we went to Edinburgh. We spent a couple of weeks there. So, what happened in London? Tell them about the birds. The birds. Do you remember the birds?
There's a story. So, guys, this live stream is not like a long 1-hour ad. This is me and Meghla hanging out, talking about stuff. So, what happened in London? So the first time we met in London was at the White Label World Expo, where I was speaker, and it was funny because I was a speaker on 2 days. They double booked me, and I had nothing for my booth, so I hired an exotic bird person that brought exotic predator birds. So he had falcons and kingfisher birds, real live birds, like actual birds. Owls, and there was an African falcon. We had the smallest falcon in the world, the largest owl in the world, the world's largest owl was in my booth, live, like a real owl. And people were like putting it on their arm and be like, "Hey, check out this owl! It's like almost as big as my kid," right? It was huge. So and then later that time we went out with a bunch of VIP sellers, like you have the opportunity to do in Vegas if you come to Vegas with us, because, well, I guess with us, you're going to be there virtually. I'll be there physically. But if you have a VIP ticket, you get to go out with people, just like Meghla and I went out in London, and we ate some gold-plated chocolate and met each other there. And then we met again the next weekend. So you stayed there. I actually flew back to Canada. This is a funny story. So I went to London for the expo, the White Label Expo, because I was a speaker there. And then I flew back to Canada, and I have a day job. So I worked my day job from Monday to Friday, all week. And then Friday night, I flew back to London again, like literally the next weekend, okay? So like the first weekend I was there, then I went home directly from London, worked the whole week, and then flew back directly back to London again. And that was for the Athena's, the Titan Network
holiday party.
It was like a Christmas holiday party for sellers. It was really fun. Anyways, so that we met again, because you were also there. You were still in London, just because you didn't fly home and work all week like I did. You just stayed there with your son. All right, so Meghla, what's the deal with the Women's E-Commerce Conference, the Empowery Women's E-Commerce Conference in Las Vegas? What can we say about it?
I think that it is such an important event for women, of course. But okay, here's what I feel about women's conferences. I think they're important today, but I hope that they won't be important tomorrow, because what's happening is that there are a lot of the industries and a lot of the, especially e-commerce and manufacturing and sourcing and all, they're very male dominated, and there are very few women in these industries. And when you go to conferences, you mostly see men. You don't really see women on the stage. So I think it's important to have such conferences to highlight the fact that, hey, there are women who are experts in certain subjects, and there are women who can speak about certain things, and please invite them to your conferences. But what I don't want to see in the future is women's conferences being held separately and women being kind of sidelined from the main conferences. And that's one reason why I feel that we really need to have women in the mainstream conferences. And we at the end of the day, tomorrow, or I say tomorrow, but I mean the next few years, I really hope there's no distinction between men speaker and women speakers. You should be invited to a conference. You should be invited to a conference because you're an expert at whatever you do, regardless of your gender, right?
Yeah.
But I think what Melissa is doing, and Danny also has a similar conference branded by women, they are so important to highlight the fact that, hey, there are so many amazing women experts in this industry that can speak at a lot of these, at a lot of the major main events, the mainstream kind of events. So yeah, I think Melissa is doing an amazing job to just bring all these women to the fore, and helping them hopefully to get on mainstream events.
Okay, and I just want to clarify something. I put a little scroll bar at the bottom. You can probably see that if you're watching live.
Yeah.
Let me know. It says men are also welcome. Actually, it doesn't say welcome, but men are welcome to come to the women's conference. So what Meghla is talking about here is the Empowery Women E-Commerce Conference that's happening in Las Vegas from July the 16th and 17th, so which is less than a month from now. All of the speakers and all of the workshop providers, they're all women in this case. So in that sense, It's the women's conference, right? But men are also welcome to come. So it's not like only allowed, if you're a guy, you can go and learn from the women. There's just, all the presenters are going to be women, and all of the workshop providers are women. So, and this has happened last year as well. So last year in 2020, the Empowery hosted, from what I understand, the first e-commerce all women's conference, right? And were you part of that? Were you involved with the first one? Did you hear about it?
I wasn't part of the first one, but I had heard about it because it was an in-person event. So I hadn't gone there, but I had heard about it. I saw pictures and videos, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Okay, and this conference that's happening in Las Vegas. I like the scroll thing. This is new. So
Yeah.
Las Vegas, July 16th and 17th are the dates. That's a 2-day conference. And day one, there's going to be speakers where we're going to be learning about material and listening from the speakers. And then day 2 is all workshops. And Meghla, you will be having a workshop.
Yes.
Which we talked about. So you're going to be doing sourcing from India in your workshop. And if somebody, workshop means different things to different people. So when you say workshop, like, what would somebody expect if they joined your workshop, either from Vegas or virtually?
Yeah, so basically we're going to do a deep dive into sourcing from India, and we're going to exactly tell people, exactly how they can start sourcing. And we're going to go deep into various aspects related to sourcing from India, whether it's finding suppliers, quality control. That's something else that's super, super important when you're sourcing from overseas. So we're going to do a deep dive into quality control. Logistics. I think a lot of people really struggle with logistics and are not sure how logistics and works in India, because they're really used to China, and there's DDP, and logistics seems a little more easier from China. So we're going to do a deep dive into logistics as well, to explain to people like what are the different ports in India, and which port is it better to send your products from depending on where your factory is, and things like that. So basically tips and advice and strategies to help you save costs when you're sourcing products and in terms of logistics. Then we're also going to be talking about things like packaging.
Pause. Just
Yeah.
Pause for a second here.
Yeah.
I got a logistics question.
Okay.
Because I've been to India. I went to
which city?
Bangalore. Bengaluru now. They call it Bengaluru. The name of the city kind of changed a little bit. But Bengaluru. And here's my question for you. So, it's a logistics question. I know you're an India logistics expert. India is a very large country. It's like the 7th largest country on the planet. It's a democratic country. The official language is English and possibly other languages. And so if somebody wants to source from India and they live in the United States, they could ship something from the East Coast or from the West Coast, depending on where it's coming from, right? Now, would you say there's an advantage or disadvantage of shipping something from India through the Pacific to the West Coast of the U.S.? Or does it sometimes make sense if you're shipping from the West Coast of India to go through the Suez Canal into the East Coast of the U.S. and maybe land in like New York or Houston or Galveston or something like that? What are some of the ways that people can ship from India that they might not be aware of? And of course, there's airplane, there's boat, that you can get things around different ways, right?
Yeah.
Give us an example. Like, which one does that happen? Do people ship both ways, or does it always go the same way? Like, how's it work?
Okay, so first of all, there are different options when you're shipping from India. So you can do courier. If it's a very small cargo, then you just do courier. You can do air freight, or you can do sea freight. Now let's talk about the different ports in India. And if you think about India, it's a peninsula, so it's triangular at the bottom, and it's surrounded by ocean on either side, west and the east. Now the most popular port in India is the Mumbai port. That's on the west coast of India. That's the most popular port. It's the biggest in India. It's the most advanced, and it's most of the exports from India happen via Mumbai port. So that's the main port in India. And there are also other ports. For example, there's on the east coast, there's Kolkata. So if you're sourcing something from the eastern states, then of course it makes sense to ship from Kolkata. Or there are also like Bengaluru, I think, also has a port, and then Chennai, and a lot of the others. There are ports in the south as well. But the primary main port is Mumbai.
Okay.
When you ship from Mumbai, then it's better to go to the east coast via the Suez Canal because it's faster. It takes about 22 days, I think, is the sailing time from Mumbai to New York. And it's cheaper. Whereas if you go from Mumbai to the west coast, there is some transshipment happening. So the ship stops either in Colombo or Korea, and then they have to move your cargo to another ship. That takes a couple of days, and then it moves ahead to the west coast. And so it takes longer.
Yeah.
Not only because there's transshipment, but also because it takes long. The route is longer, and it's more expensive as well. So it's always better to send to send your cargo from Mumbai directly to New York. That's the fastest, that's the cheapest. But of course, if you are sourcing something from the east of India, then it may make sense to, ship from the east coast, from one of the ports on the east. But you have to weigh the pros and cons and look at the shipping times and also the inland transportation times, because sometimes it makes sense to actually, truck your cargo from the east coast to Mumbai, which will take a couple of days, or maybe you can use the train or something, might be faster. But it makes sense to truck the cargo to Mumbai and then send it from Mumbai to the East Coast. That still might be, faster.
What is the state of internal infrastructure in India? So when I was there, they were building heavy rail in Bangalore, which formerly Bangalore, and it was like heavy rail, so it was capable of shipping and other things. So countries are always developing their infrastructure. And I know that traditionally India has good rail systems, right? There's a lot of railroads around India. Mm-hmm. And then along the coasts, I've heard they've been developing a lot of bridges and structures to connect different parts of the coastal cities. So in Mumbai, they have a bridge that they've been building, right? So you had mentioned that Mumbai has more advanced shipping ports. How does that impact an online seller? And does it make a difference, or does it matter?
Yeah, it does matter, because things like customs clearance and processing of your goods and all is faster in Mumbai than it is in other ports. And in terms of infrastructure, of course, India is behind China in terms of infrastructure development. China is way ahead of India in terms of, they've got the speed train, they've got maglev, and they've got all of those sorts of things. So, but in India, things move a bit slowly because it is a democracy and it is still a developing country. So things move a bit slowly, and but they are making improvements in the infrastructure. They're building highways, high-speed trains and all those things. But it does take some time, for things to happen in India. So I think India will get there soon. But yeah, in terms of infrastructure, it's still behind China in many ways. But that doesn't really affect online sellers or importers that much, because you're still able to get products from India, you're still able to truck them to the ports, and there are really large retailers and brands that are sourcing products from India by the containers. So, and this is not something new. I mean, they've been doing this for the last 30 years or so. So it's not a challenge as such, the infrastructure, the lack of infrastructure over there. Things work, but China is better. You can get from one place to another in China much faster than you can in India. Things like that,
right? So so India has other advantages over purchasing from China. So you had mentioned some unique products and some different things that are made. I'm going to guess, and then you tell me if I'm right or wrong. My guess is that labor costs are now cheaper in India, and that variety of products is higher in India than it currently is in China. China's kind of went the way of high tech and more infrastructure building, and they've spent a lot on cement and connecting things and information technology. They're lightning fast there and very advanced. But India also has over 1 billion people, so there's lots of people there. And so tell us about some of the other benefits of sourcing from India. I'm curious.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right, Jacob. Lower labor costs, that's one of the benefits in India. And however, maybe productivity may be higher in China, because they're doing it for longer, they're more experienced. But so if you have a product that is labor intensive, for example, apparel or maybe a bag, or something like that, then it's more cost effective to source it in India. China, in fact, has been pushing out some of the low-end production to other countries. In fact, a lot of the large apparel brands, for example, and retailers have been moving their low-end production out of China for quite a few years. It's maybe 5 or 10 years. That's why these new production hubs like Bangladesh and Pakistan and even India and Vietnam and all have developed specifically for garments, because the Chinese government really wants their suppliers to focus on high-end products and move up the value chain, and they want to really send this low-end kind of production out of China. So that's
Yeah.
been happening for quite a few years, and that's one of the biggest advantages that you have, especially if you're sourcing in large quantities, especially if you're sourcing products that require a lot of labor and they're labor intensive. So that's one advantage. I think the other advantage is that India is an English speaking country. So
Right.
most suppliers that you will speak with or that you work with, they'll be able to communicate very well in English, and you can have Zoom calls with them and have a really direct discussion about your product, and nothing is sort of lost in translation, because sometimes when you work in China, things get lost in translation. You have a translator with you, or and your translator may or may not be very familiar with your product. But in India, things move a bit smoother in terms of communication. So that's one other advantage. You don't need a translator. And even if you visit a trade show, for example, you don't really need a translator. And it's interesting, English, of course, is the official language, but there are over 22 official languages in India, and each language has a different script and a different way of speaking it. So I'm from the north, I speak Hindi, but if I go to south of India, like Bengaluru or any of those cities, I do not understand their language. It's like I'm in a different country. So
Yeah,
India
there's
is
definitely regional accents as well, right?
not only accents, it's a different language altogether. The script is different. It's totally different. I cannot read it. India is almost like Europe, where you have all of these different countries or states that have different cultures, they have different languages, different traditions, but at the same time there are a lot of common themes among all of the states. For example, there are a few festivals that all the states celebrate, but they celebrate in slightly different ways. The overall essence and spirit of the festival is the same throughout the country, but then the traditions and the way that it's celebrated is kind of different. So yeah, India is a very interesting country, and not only to source but also to visit. I think it's a very diverse country to visit.
I can vouch for this firsthand because I visited India multiple times, and I went to Bengaluru, which is Bangalore as well. And it's the same place. And I've also traveled to Mysore. So I've been to the Mysore Palace, and there's Mysore temples there. And interesting fun fact, if you like to stalk me on Facebook, you wouldn't know this, but I love zoos. I really like zoos a lot. So when I was in India, I went to the Mysore Zoo. There's a zoo in Mysore. And then there's also a zoo just north of Bengaluru. So I've been to both zoos, and went to both places both times that I went to India. So it's very exciting. So if you ever get a chance, you can travel around India and you'll get to experience different things. I think the South Goa is a very popular place for people to visit, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
And then in
Goa
north,
is very
you have
popular.
in the north, you have the larger cities. Let me ask you about this. Is a personal question now, okay? So we're gonna get deep. What's the deal with Northeast India? It's like not as many big cities there.
Yeah, there are not as many big cities, and there are 7 states in the Northeast, and they're known as the Seven Sisters. And they, they are part of India, but culturally they are sort of different from the rest of the cities, in India. Appearance-wise, they look more Chinese because I guess they're closer to the Chinese border. And
But like Nagaland,
yeah, but it's
Nagaland's
beautiful.
part of India, right?
Yes, absolutely. Nagaland,
And it's kind
Meghalaya.
of like super rural compared to the rest of India, right?
Yes, most of it is rural, but there are, cities, the capital of Nagaland, and there are other cities that are well developed as well. But yeah, in fact, a lot of India is rural. Agriculture is still the main occupation. Like I think 70 to 80% of the overall population somehow is related to agriculture. But yeah, so Seven Sisters, they're beautiful states. There's a lot of tea plantations there, and a lot of different types of bamboo is grown there, and a lot of different types of commercial crops.
So when you talk about sourcing there, can you source
Yeah.
a lot of that agricultural produce? So like, for example, I eat a lot of vegetables, like an enormous amount of vegetables recently. It's kind of insane. And I buy a lot of fresh herbs and spices. to be honest, right? So I have cumin and dill and coriander and rosemary and like all these different spices. And kind of historically or from a personal level, I feel like India has the best spices ever. But I don't know if that's true or if that's just like my imagination. So when I went to India, I thought it was amazing. So if I want to bring some of that agricultural variety, let's say I wanted to launch a private label tea company, right? Does it make sense to do that in today's age? And does it make sense to use India for that?
Yes, 100%. It definitely makes sense to do that. Not only tea, you can do coffee and spices. You're absolutely right. India is in fact one of the main exporters and producers of all types of spices. Specifically, like things like cloves and cinnamon and cardamom and aniseed. There's so many different spices. Turmeric, that's one of the big exports as well. And
I eat
what else?
turmeric every single day. 7
You
days
do?
a week. Yeah, raw turmeric, like the root.
Oh, really? Okay, so you know what we do in India? We actually we use the dry turmeric powder, and we actually use it in our food every day. So we make lentils and vegetables and everything, and we just sprinkle. I mean, while we're cooking the vegetables, we use a lot of different spices, including turmeric. And so turmeric is part of every kitchen in India, and it's going to be used every single day, in every meal. You can't cook a meal without turmeric.
And so just from an online seller perspective, if somebody wanted to private label an agricultural product from India, I know that India produces these things, and I know that they consume them, and there's a lot of people there, more than 1 billion people, right? So if somebody wanted to export an agricultural product, so they wanted to export, let's say, turmeric or turmeric powder even, right? Is that something that is encouraged or discouraged or neutral from like a policy and governmental perspective? Or like, does the government want to keep all the food in India to feed people, or do they want to export it to like bring the food everywhere?
They want to export it, and in fact the good stuff is exported. And the rest of the stuff is for the Indians.
Okay. And what about like black peppercorns?
Oh yeah, totally.
Rainbow pepper, Himalayan salt.
Yes, chilies, dry chilies, all of those things. Black peppercorns, yes.
So with a 22-day shipping period, you might not want to ship like lettuce because it will die, right? Unless you're shipping in it, maybe you could ship it you could grow it while it's shipping, I guess. You could just ship seeds and receive lettuce. But if somebody wants to ship something from India, obviously dried spices and herbs and things would be fine. What about fresh produce, right? What about if I wanted to source like mangoes or something like we both said mangoes. What a funny. So if you wanted to source something from India and it's fresh, you mentioned you can ship by air or by ship. If you ship something by air, what's the transportation time from when it leaves India to when it's received in, just hypothetically, let's say the U.S., because like probably a lot of Americans are wondering about this, or Europe? Does it make sense to ship fresh produce by air to other places?
Absolutely, it totally makes sense. And in fact, there is a lot of exports happening of fresh produce, and specifically mangoes. And I said mangoes because India is one of the biggest exporters of mangoes. And during the summer season, there's like, I don't know, billions of mangoes being produced, and they're exported around the world. And there are specific ways to export fresh produce. So maybe they have refrigerated containers, or if they're shipped by air, then also they're refrigerated, or a different way to make sure that they are received fresh. So definitely that's an option. But I feel that for private label sellers, you could consider dry spices first instead of thinking about fresh produce, because it's riskier and probably more expensive, and there's a specific time by which you have to sell the fresh produce, otherwise it just goes bad. So dry spices and tea, coffee, that's a really good thing to start with. And what some people are doing, Jacob, is that they are actually producing these blends, for example. So they have custom blends, yes. So you have, let's say, tea, and then tea is sort of mixed with different spices. So turmeric, or what are the other spices?
Turmeric,
garlic,
a lot of ginger.
Yeah, not garlic in tea, but I'm just trying to think.
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg or cinnamon. There are a lot of different spices. Cardamom, yes, cardamom would be perfect to mix with tea. So that's something that a lot of people are doing already. In fact, when we were in London at the White Label Expo, the booth right beside mine, they were doing exactly the same thing. They had these private label teas that they were, blending with different spices, and they were promoting these teas as, this is good for sleep, for example. So have this tea before bedtime, and you'll be able to sleep better. And this one is, your early morning tea or things like that.
Nutmeg affects your central nervous system. So if you want to sleep well and you've got like a tenseness in your nervous system, like your central nervous system that controls your bodily functions and stuff, have some nutmeg before you go to bed, and I find that it calms you. Now, whether it's supposed to or not, I don't know, but it has essential oils in it. And you can have a dried spice that is either ground or unground. So it's not why we came to talk too much about that, but we're human beings and people might want to sleep sometimes. So I recommend nutmeg, and I recommend grinding your own because you preserve the essential oils in it. So Meghla, from what I'm hearing, you can source anything that you can get in India, you could basically bring to the rest of the world. So if India's expert or a leader in the production of any of these agricultural goods, which it is in many different products, somebody could private label those, whether it's fresh or dried, and they can make custom blends. And the Indian producers are happy to work with you and happy to, be flexible in terms of what they can produce, correct?
Yes, that's right. And you have to find the right partner in India to work with because it's a food item. So you want to make sure that you have the right certifications and that you are, sourcing high quality products. So it does require a bit of effort, a bit of research, and you have to make sure that you've got the right company, you've got all the certificates right. There are companies that also import in high volumes into the US, and you could in fact source from those companies and make your own blends in the US. So you source the raw materials from these wholesalers who are already bringing them into the US, and then you sort of blend it, however, get a company in the US to blend it and package it for you. That's another option as well, and some people might want to consider that too, because then you're sure that you've got all the certificates and everything right, because the company that's importing the product is responsible for the certificates, and you don't have to go out and get the certificate yourself.
So you could actually export or import the individual ingredients from the source, so even different sources, and then do the packaging and blending and manufacturing wherever you are. So we always talk about the U.S. because there's a lot of U.S. sellers, but there's sellers all over the world. So if you're in Canada, like myself, you could import stuff from India, you could blend it here, and then you could sell it anywhere, right? You've now created a product. So I'll give you an example. I have a chocolate company, 5 Leaf Chocolate, which a lot of people have heard about. We're famous for having gold on our chocolate, so it kind of looks like this. And I know Meghla's had this before. It's very good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And, anyways, we import cacao beans directly from northern Colombia, from the Amazon rainforest, and then we do all the roasting and the blending and shelling and everything in our factory here, and then we mix it with sugar. We get our sugar from India, which is interesting. It's a different kind of sugar, and then we make the chocolate here and we sell it all over the world. So we have buyers in the UK, in Serbia, in Australia, in the US, and across Canada, of course. And so you can do the same thing with India. So if you haven't considered why India has some advantages, Meghla is going to be talking about those, and specifically logistics, quality control, sourcing, and other factors to consider during her workshop. Now, Meghla, we have 2 minutes remaining on our scheduled time. How hard stop is this 9 o'clock hard stop? I gotta know, because we haven't talked at all about like how would somebody get to the conference if they wanted to buy a ticket, how much would it cost? If they wanted to, let's say, save 15%, what code would they use or anything? Okay.
Could we go for another 10?
Filling us with content, which is fantastic.
Could we go for another 10 minutes? Would that be okay? 10 or max 15?
That's up to you. I could go for another 10 hours, but 10 minutes is probably fair.
Okay.
So that would be less
than 1 hour.
Go
less
ahead.
than 1 hour. So
the conference, and I'll try and bring up some stuff here.
Okay. So the conference is really amazing. I think you should definitely consider attending the conference. There's so many amazing speakers that are going to be presenting on a variety of different topics. I know a couple of them personally. So Mayan Gordon is one, and I had interviewed her previously, I think last year, and she talks a lot about TikTok. She's such a powerhouse of energy, and she's just amazing. She knows her stuff. She's doing really well on TikTok. So I'm not sure what her topic is going to be, but if it's TikTok, then you definitely want to attend that presentation. And then we've got
millions of followers on TikTok. Just for context,
Yeah.
if you don't know Mayan Gordon, we're going to be doing a live interview with her. Well, I'm going to be doing a live interview with her on June the 28th at 8 p.m. So she literally has millions with an M, millions of followers on TikTok, and she's quite famous in many places. But she's going to have good info, and she'll be there live. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then a couple of other speakers. Couple of other speakers, of course. Amy Weiss is there. She's always, bringing good content, especially in terms of searching for products and building your own private label and selling outside of Amazon, not only on Amazon. So I think that she's a great speaker too. Then we've got Ritu Java. I think you had her on your live stream yesterday. She's a PPC whiz. She's absolutely amazing when it comes to PPC. We also do a live workshop with her. And then who else is there? Do you want to bring up the website and maybe show it on the screen, and let's just look at the speakers?
Yes. Okay, so we're going to bring up the website and show you the speakers. Here it comes. All right. My mouse isn't working. Oh, that's very embarrassing. All right. So, guys, if you want to come to the Empower Women's Conference 2021, it's located in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the United States. It's on July the 16th and 17th, and this is the website that you can go to, kartra.empowery.com/Women's Conference 2021. There'll be a link in wherever you're watching this live video. And basically, here's some speakers that are going to be there. It's going to be Melissa Simonson. She's the GM of Empowery. Lillian Roberts, the founder and CEO of Zendu. Marcia Reese, who is the founder of Staywell Products and the CEO, and also the inventor of Sidewalk Chalk. Let me ask you this, Meghla. Do you know what Sidewalk Chalk is?
No, I don't. What is it, Jacob?
All right,
Tell me.
so now we're 3 for 3. I didn't know, and Ritu didn't know, you don't know, but it's very big in the U.S., I've heard. Melissa has assured me Sidewalk Chalk's a big deal. So, Sidewalk Chalk is the chalk that you can use to write on the sidewalk, and it's sold all over the U.S. So, Americans know Sidewalk Chalk, but people outside of America maybe have heard of it, or they can think of it, but it's giant pieces of chalk. It's like, I don't know, like a giant 6 inches, maybe like huge pieces of chalk, and you can write on the sidewalks with them. So you can use it for art, you can use it for advertising. Kids like to go in their driveway or on the sidewalks and write with chalk. And the nice thing is it washes away after. So if it rains or if you want to wash it off and write something else, you can do that. And so anyways, the founder of Sidewalk Chalk, Marcia Reach, is going to be one of the keynotes. Zahara Cruzan will be there, Yal Kabili, Amy Weiss. Again, these are all like founders and CEOs, right? Founder and CEO of Brand Author, co-founder of FortuneNet, CEO of Amazing at Home. We've got Destiny Wishin, CEO of Better AMS, Karen Thomas, brand ambassador for Helium 10, Emma Shermer-Tamir, which is CEO of Marketing by Emma.
Emma is really awesome. I have to tell you about Emma. So she is, she focuses on copywriting. She does listings and all sorts of other types of copywriting. She's been a speaker at the Global Sources Summit in Hong Kong a couple of times that I organized, and I've met her. And she did a really fantastic presentation at the conference. It was very highly rated by the audience. So Emma is absolutely amazing when it comes to writing copy specifically for Amazon and even other stuff. She does other types of copywriting as well. So fantastic speaker.
She'll be there either as a speaker or as a workshop provider. She's in marketing. I'm going to guess a workshop, but we'll find out. Mayan Gordon will be there. Again, super famous on TikTok. She also has more than 800 million video views. That's almost 1 billion views. That's a lot of views.
Wow.
Isabella Hamilton, founder and CEO of RankBell. Ritu Java, who we did a live show with yesterday, and you can see the replay on my personal Facebook channel. She's the CEO of PPC Ninja. Meghla, you're on live right now. You'll be there virtually and giving a workshop on sourcing from India, as well as the information we've talked about for more than an hour now. Chelsea Cohen, co-founder of So Stoked, will be there. She's fantastic. I shared the stage with her in Texas a couple of years ago, and she's very good. Melanie will be there as well from Avask. She is one of the partners there, and she is very, very knowledgeable and very well connected across many international Amazon sellers. So she'll be providing some information. I'm not sure if she'll be there physically or virtually because of the visa difficulties getting to the US right now from Europe, including the UK. Mikal Oren will be there, CEO, co-founder of Fortunet. So she'll be there as well. And to be announced, these are not just placeholders. So I did a live stream 4 days ago with Melissa Simonson, and these TBAs, they're real people. They just haven't been unveiled yet. So I would like to know who they are. And then all the sponsors will be there as well. So we got Goldstein Law, Gatita, Private Label, Legion, Empowery, Avask, Amazing at Home, SoStock, Econ Attorneys, and others, as well as virtual sponsors Helium 10, PickFu, FeedbackWiz, and Seller Funding. The agenda, it's a 2-day event, guys, so all the information's on the website. Go check it out. There's links to it as part of this live stream. Meghla, what should we add for people before we go here? Because I know you now have 5 minutes, and then we've got you're going to disappear.
I think that if you are in this business of Amazon and e-commerce, it's really important to continue to keep learning, because things change so often over here, and in months, sometimes in weeks, things change and they're different. So I feel that as an Amazon seller, it's really, really important to stay on top of the trends and the changes, and that's why it's really important to attend all of these conferences and meetups, and be part of masterminds, and just sort of stay on top of what's happening, because the world of Amazon e-commerce is continuously evolving and it's changing, and you need to stay up to date with what's happening so that you can be competitive. So I think this is not optional. Attending conferences for Amazon e-commerce sellers is mandatory if you really want to be successful. And the good thing that I like about conferences is the networking. I think the networking is just so amazing. And of course, we've missed having the networking, the physical meetups and physical interaction for over a year.
You and I are networking right now virtually.
Yeah.
But we met at an event and we networked in person, right? If we didn't go to those events in London twice, 2 different events, then we wouldn't be having this conversation now, right? Like,
exactly.
When you go to conferences, you meet people that you might not expect to meet, and you can develop lifelong friendships and relationships with people that will help your business to grow. That is the key factor. Like, that's why people go. People don't go because they want to learn something from one person. They could probably just do that by calling them or doing a webinar or something. You go because you're going to meet people you don't even know you're there to meet with, right? So
exactly.
Just to summarize, because again, we have 3 minutes, and we still have to do the review, which is probably going to take 2 minutes. So we have 1 minute. There's 4 options for the conference, okay? There's a general admission ticket. It's $399. It is the same price as, let's say, a Prosper workshop, but it gives you access to 2 days at the event, including all the speakers the first day and 9 workshops the second day. So the general admission gets you all that. If you get a VIP ticket, which is the obvious best choice, it is $200 more than the general admission, so it's $599. But it also gives you VIP dinner access on both days, as well as access to the soiree in the sky with the Skylofts MGM. And it also gives you other bonuses. You get all the video recorded sessions, plus you get lunches for free on both days, plus you get VIP dinners on both days, plus you get all the videos of everything that happened. So even if you miss something during the daytime, you get the video content as well. So the VIP, obviously the best choice, I would say, if you're going to be there in person. Virtual access, right? So Meghla, you're accessing virtually, and the virtual access is $149. It gives you access to all the speakers and workshops virtually. It is live, it is interactive, and it is real time. So you actually will be able to engage with Meghla virtually if you're anywhere in the world and have your ticket. And then if you want to experience the content, but you can't make it virtually or in person, you could get the videos. They're recorded after and available after the conference, and they're $199. And on any of those 4 options that you get for this conference, you can use the code that's scrolling across the bottom, JT Empowery Women 15 to save 15% at registration. And you know, a lot of people think the JT is for Justin Timberlake or for Justin Trudeau, who's the Prime Minister of Canada, but it also could be Jacob Topping. It's up to your own imagination what the letters mean. Empowery, of course, it's the Empowery Women's Conference. Women, because it's all women speakers. 15, because it's 15% off. That's more than 10% off, 15%. So, Meghla, we got to wrap it up. We have 1 minute, and then you're gonna turn into a pumpkin or something. I don't know what's gonna happen. But
No.
basically, let's do a
We can
review,
we can
okay?
go for longer if you're okay. I mean, we can go for another 10 minutes or so. I moved my meeting. I had a meeting at 9, but I've moved it, so it's okay.
I'm
We can
sorry,
keep going.
other people who expected Meghla. Clearly, this is more important. So sorry you got moved. No offense. I'm not saying that you're not important. You're just not as important as this live stream. It's very exciting. All right, so let's do a review. We have 10 minutes, and that'll give us time to do a review. So, Are you okay? Have you ever watched one of these live streams to the end before?
Your live stream? No, I haven't.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
No.
Okay. All right, Meghla.
Ooh, this is fun.
Are you ready? I don't think you know what's about to happen. We're about to do a classic review, okay? And these reviews are legendary. So if you haven't watched any of the live streams, I highly recommend like the last 10 minutes. Are you ready, Meghla?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay. Here's what we did on today's show. We talked about Meghla. We talked a little bit about Empowery. You can get free roses from Empowery at Empowery.com. We talked a lot about the Empowery Women's eCommerce Conference, okay? We noted that men and women are welcome to come to the Women's Conference. It's in Las Vegas on July 16th and 17th, and the Empowery Women eCommerce Conference is the name of the conference. It's a 2-day event. There's day 1 and day 2, learning and workshops. You can get a full virtual access, including access to Meghla giving her workshop for both days for $149, and there's also virtual access. It's live and in real time, and it's interactive. It is only $149, and it includes the swag bag. So if you live in the US and you get the interactive option, you also get the swag bag. You can buy your tickets at kartika.empowery.com/Women's Conference 2021. The general access tickets, which would be beneficial if you're there in person, is $399. The VIP tickets are $599, and the virtual access, again, both days, real-time interactive, is $149. The pre-event soiree in the Skylofts is only available for ticket holders of the access to the VIP tickets. So if you get the VIP tickets, you get the soiree in the Skyloft at MGM in downtown Las Vegas. Plus, you get 2 VIP dinners, plus videos, plus you get both days, all the content, including 2 lunches and a VIP swag bag. You get all of that with the VIP access. Like, that's what I'm buying personally, and I would suggest you get it because it's the best deal. However, if you can't make it at all, either virtually or in person, you can get the videos. You could also get the videos and the virtual access, for example, if you can't make it and you want to be there live plus get the recordings. There are 4 options, just to summarize. General admission, VIP, virtual access, and the videos. Day 1 topics are going to include mindset and learning. Again, that's the website you get it. Do a screen capture because this is the review. Day 2 is the workshops. There's going to be some serious networking opportunities there. You can bring your laptop and do the things live. The Day 2 workshops will be in small groups with individual attention. Meghla will be giving a workshop, and it will be an implementation. Okay, so she's going to show you exactly how things work. You'll be able to meet new people and reconnect with others, both virtually or in person. You can meet the Facebook people for real, because they're real people. So you might have only seen Meghla or I on Facebook, but now you can meet us in person. Well, you can meet me in person, or you can meet Meghla virtually, but live and interactively. You can form new friendships with other sellers. We talked about our experience in London. That's how we met twice. It was very exciting. We just pause for a minute here for one of our sponsors. Meghla, how is the 5-leaf chocolate with gold plating?
It is out of this world. It is absolutely out of this world. And my son likes it too. And, he in fact, I think you gave him a couple of bars. And, he just ate all of them up. He didn't give me too many. So, too much of the chocolate. So, I need more chocolate, Jacob.
Okay, I'm working on seeing if our management at our company will allow us to bring some to the Vegas. We'll see. Anyways, this is the recap. So each day is going to be between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. plus the VIP dinners. The workshops on day 2 will be virtual and in person live. Again, Meghla is going to be virtual from Singapore giving the live workshop. We're going to get some conversations and make sales get conversions and make sales. That's not part of today's thing. Forget that. That's yesterday. If you didn't watch yesterday's live stream, go check it out. We talked about getting conversions. All right, you can use the coupon code JT Empowery Woman with the EN 15 to save 15% on your tickets. We're doing the review right now. I just want to say thank you, Meghla, for coming. And before we get to the bonus tips, which we may have 1 minute for, we did also talk about sourcing in India. We talked about your workshop specifically will be sourcing in India. We talked about the secret link. What is this secret link? Are we going to tell people, or is it just totally just go there and find out?
Go there and find out,
and
it's
safe.
Yes, it's a Facebook post, and if you like or comment on this Facebook post, you will be added to our lucky draw that we're going to do on the launch day of our website. And we have about almost 70 prizes that we are giving away on the launch day, which is next Friday evening in the US and Saturday morning in Asia and Australia. And we are, there are lots and lots of prizes and discounts. So there's discounts on sourcing services, logistics, and free workshops, and free consultancies.
Go to the link and see what happens, okay?
Yeah.
So we talked about global sources versus India. We're not talking in general. Global Sources is a company. So it is. What's the difference between Global Sources and Alibaba? Meghla is super experienced. We talked about Singapore a little bit, but really the workshop is going to be on logistics, quality control, and sourcing. We talked about shipping, air versus shipping. We talked about that today, but she'll be in more depth, I'm sure, during the workshop. We talked about shipping from the East Coast or West Coast of India. We talked about the infrastructure in India. We talked about India versus China and sourcing. We talked about India speaking English. There's no translator needed. We talked about some national, regional, cultural things. Spices are a superpower skill of India as a country. Think private label. Launch your own brand. Maybe do some custom stuff. India sourcing and exports. We talked about that. We talked about custom blends that you could create if you source from India. That is the review. Thank you, Meghla.
That was awesome. That was amazing. I love the review. I have to go back and watch some of the others. Just a review.
Like, 4 minutes, you save yourself an hour. But no, the content we talked about, that was only reviewing it. So any last minute bonus tips? This is for you now.
Well, bonus tips I would say is, first of all, definitely check out the conference, the Empowery conference. It's literally a no-brainer. I mean, if you are in this industry, if you're an Amazon seller, you have to stay on top of the different trends, and the speakers there are absolutely amazing. So definitely check out the conference. If you can be there in person, there's nothing like it. I wish I could, travel now. I would definitely be there as, in person. But
we could smuggle you in. There's Canadians going, and the border's kind of closed right now. We're all kind of getting smuggled over there. So Ritu is going to be there. I'll be there. Norm might be there. If you know who Norm is. Secret name dropping it. Norm might be there. Might be there. Melissa will be there for sure. Meghla, you're going to be there virtually. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. This is a bonus tip. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I guess my bonus tip is, be open to sourcing from India. A lot of people are a bit skeptical and hesitant of sourcing from any other country apart from China. But, be adventurous, try something new. You won't be disappointed. You'll get some very cool, unique products, very high quality products, and you're going to be able to differentiate your brands. The other thing that I didn't really mention is that India has a lot of stories, a lot of backstories that you can actually add to your brand that really can help you differentiate. For example, there are a lot of corporates or co-ops that actually work in India. These are, maybe clusters of women in a village, for example, that come together to make certain products. And so if you have a brand, let's say for, baskets, you could probably add photos of these women working in these clusters and these community halls where they're coming together and making these products, and how doing this work actually is uplifting their own, livelihood, their own lives. So there are lots of different types of stories that you can add to your brand that will help differentiate and, enhance your brand. What some people are also doing is that, do you know Tom's Shoes, Jacob? Right? Tom's Shoes?
Yes.
So where they give $1 or a pair of shoes for every shoe that you buy or something like that. A lot of people are doing that in India as well. So there are a lot of charities, non-government organizations that you can donate to that are helping. Whoa! What was that?
That was just a little.
Where's Jacob?
All right, so guys, listen. I'm here with the secret bonus tips on the after the live stream. So it's still live, and you can still ask questions, guys. So I've been instructed to let you know that Meghla is here live from Singapore, and my name again is Jacob. This is my alter ego here. So yesterday we did a live show with Ritu Java, who is the PPC Ninja, who will also be at the Empowery Women's eCommerce conference. And so this is my ninja outfit. I actually am missing a piece, but maybe my lovely assistant Tara, can you bring me the rest of the outfit? There is more outfit actually, and so I just wanted to like put that in there. But Meghla, absolutely go ahead, continue on with the bonus tips. I'm here and I'm very excited to hear them. So don't let the disguise fool you. I am also Jacob Topping. For real,
You're so funny.
There's all kinds of fun things that can happen in Vegas too. You do not know what you're about to experience. If you go in person, there might be 24 karat gold. We'll see.
Ooh, you still wore an Indian kind of outfit today. Yesterday was PPC Ninja, so it was Ninja. But yes, as I was saying, there are a lot of different stories that you can actually have for your brand when you're sourcing from India, and that will really help differentiate your brand from all of the different other brands out there. Another thing to note is that India has a lot of history of producing these products, and there are in fact artisans that have been doing this for generations, and the skills have been transferred from one generation to another. That's another thing that you can mention in your brands, and show videos of the artisans actually working on your products. That's something that you don't really find in China when you're sourcing from a factory or any other country. Oh my gosh, what's going on?
So this is just
You're totally ninja.
Oh yeah, this is actually the ninja because as I mentioned just a moment ago, yesterday we did a live stream with Ritu, who's from PPG Ninja, and you should definitely watch that too. Tomorrow we'll be doing another live stream. It's going to be a little covert operation, so you tune into that. And there I'll maybe wear something from India and recommend that they watch yesterday's broadcast, which is happening right now. If you
I love this.
This is literally what I wore to the grocery store. My son can vouch for me. You want to come here, Jono? This is my 11-year-old son, Jono. He's going to come and say hi. Did I or did I not wear exactly this to the grocery store?
Hi.
Yeah, you wore it. Well, come on in so you can see. There you go.
Hi.
This is Jono. Jono,
Hi,
did your
Jono.
dad wear this to the grocery store? Yes. Why? No, but why did I do that? Because COVID, right? You have to. It's the law. In Canada, you have to wear a face covering if you want to buy food at the grocery store, right? And so, you got a hooded sweatshirt, you just put it up and put on your glasses. This is what people are walking around like in Canada right now. It's chaos. Jono, this is Meghla. She's in Singapore. She's from India. She's an Indian sourcing expert. Do you have any questions for her? Okay, well, if you have a question, go type it in the live chat because we're still live. This is still happening, right?
Did he go for a swim today?
Did you go swimming today? Where did you cross the river? Yes, he did.
Ooh, wow, that's very impressive.
The river today. Yeah, it was very good. Did you make it? Are you a sinker or a floater? So the risk with Jonathan is he sinks if he stops swimming. So he's like a drowning risk. So when I'm swimming and he's swimming, I have to make sure he doesn't drown because it's an actual river and he could die.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, are you going to bed? All right, why is your face wet? Okay, he was washing his face, getting ready for bed. All right, we do have some live comments coming in here. Let's see. Me too, in person would have been lovely, hopefully 2022, says Margaret Jolly. And you said Margaret lives in, like, Australia?
Yes.
And she's been sourcing from India for years?
Yes, and she started sourcing from China, and they in fact went to Canton Fair, and they went to Hong Kong to visit one of the fairs there, and that's where they met their Indian supplier. She has a very interesting story about how she was in China looking for Chinese products, and she met her Indian supplier there, and she just fell in love with the products, and that's how she found her supplier. And then she traveled with us to India sourcing trip in 2019, and she visited the factory that she's been sourcing from, and it was a really amazing experience for her. And she lived in this hotel that was a palace previously, and she had an amazing time there. So yeah,
why was she living in a palace hotel?
Because that palace has now been turned into a hotel, and it's very, very cool.
Okay. All right, just checking. I went to the Mysore Palace when I was in Mysore on my on my own Indian trip. It was very exciting.
Okay. Yeah, and so that's what we also do on India sourcing trip. We try to introduce India's culture to people. We do a Bollywood night. And Jacob, you have to come on India sourcing trip when we do it next. That would be so awesome.
I should go to India on a sourcing trip because I've been to India before. I loved it. And if you've never been to India, I don't think it's possible to describe it correctly because it's kind of like a second planet where everything is normal and everything is a little different than where you've been, regardless of where you're coming from, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I lived in Japan, I lived in China, in mainland China before. I've traveled to South Korea. I lived in South Korea, actually. And I've been to India a few times. And India, I can tell you this, if you've never been to India, it's like a second planet. It's like an alternative reality, but it's actually real. It's hard to describe. And so sourcing in India, I can only imagine, would be just a phenomenal experience. The amount of products that I saw when I was there, I wasn't even sourcing. Like, I went for a different reason. And the amount of stuff that you see in India that you literally have never seen before. And there's a saying that Melissa had said on our live stream we did 4 days ago. She said, you don't know what you don't know. And I think that applies to India. I would literally go into a restaurant, I'd be eating something, I'd be like, I can't tell if this is like, I don't know if it's a plant or an animal. I don't know. But when I'm in India, it's probably a plant. They don't eat animals as much. I would go into a store and I'd see something. I'd be like, I don't know what that is, but they are selling a ton of it. This person runs a business selling something I've never seen in my life. I don't even know what it is. So the diversity is enormous in India.
Absolutely. I've just sent you a link to the India Sourcing Trip website. If you want to open it up, there's some photos from the trip that I think are quite interesting and just give a glimpse into, what the trip is like, and also the fun that we had there on the trip. So it was absolutely amazing because when you're with a group, then it's just a different experience, and you bond so well as a group. And people who joined the trip are even, they're even connecting today. You can just close the pop-up, and do you want to increase the size of the window a little bit, or it's fine actually? Okay, cool.
Well, I could do that. How about that?
Sure. So you can just scroll down, and so this is the trade show that we had attended. It's got about 3,500 suppliers at the show, and mostly focused on home products, gift products, very Amazonable products. We had a lot of coaches travel with the group as well. So that's Tim Jordan, Chris Thomas. Those are some of the coaches that we had, and Margaret and Kevin, they were also coaches, and we had Gary Huang.
Was with you in India as well?
Yes, he's in fact one of the coaches on India sourcing trip.
I did this with Rita, Ritu, sorry. Can I read your site for you? Just so I
sure.
hear what it sounds like.
Okay.
If you're an Amazon or e-commerce seller who wants to build a sustainable online business, you're consistently trying to increase your profits. E-commerce is a cash flow business. In order to scale, you need to invest back in purchasing inventory to keep the sales coming in. The more you invest, the faster you grow. So, how do you find profitable and high ROI products that can give you the cash flow to invest? Keep reading. Another challenge selling on the Amazon marketplace is that there are tons of Me Too products sold by hundreds of suppliers. It is critical to differentiate your products so you can stand out in a crowded category or avoid selling in crowded niches altogether. So how do you find products and keywords that are not yet saturated on Amazon and are potentially more profitable? You go to the place more sellers don't have access to, the place that is renowned for producing high-quality, handmade, exquisite products, a country where each state has its own unique style of handicrafts, where you can find a plethora of eco-friendly options across a variety of categories. You go to India. India is already a major exporter to retailers, distributors, and wholesalers around the world. It is now time for Amazon and e-commerce sellers to venture into India and discover an untapped private label opportunities the country has to offer. And what better way to explore the sourcing market than to go there yourself? Come join us on an India sourcing trip and see the differentiated products yourself. Meet face-to-face with suppliers at an expert-focused exhibition. See, touch, and feel the products yourself. Compare and negotiate products and lead times, and even place orders. While you're there, attend an exclusive and extensive India sourcing course and learn from industry-leading experts. To top it off, experience the rich and colorful culture of this mystical nation. Accelerate your business by joining the first ever Learn Sourcing Cultural Guided Tour of India. It's a first of a kind sourcing experience. And then there's
It's,
more. And there's the video too.
Yeah, so if you want to just scroll down and take a look at some of the images, I think the text is, there's just too much text on the page.
There's a lot of text.
It's a lot of text.
All right,
so these are just some tests. So that's a conference that we did, and it was a one-day conference where we basically had a lot of different experts talking about, sourcing from India. It's almost like a hands-on workshop.
Okay.
And that's Margaret there. She gave a presentation too. These are some pictures at the bottom from the trade show. So, that's Tim Jordan at the bottom in his shorts. And so every morning at the trade show, we had, the coaches, whether Tim or Margaret or Chris, they used to talk to people and give them ideas and suggestions on how to, talk to suppliers, what kind of products to look for to make sure that they're Amazonable, because not all products are Amazonable, right? So when you're at a trade show like this, you want to make sure that you are being really, really efficient, because you don't want to waste any time. You're just there for two or 3 days. And this is a video of Tim. Then, this is really cool. So if you scroll down, you see this big elephant over there. This was a structure that was outside of the trade show, and it's made from electronic waste. This is something that India is now specializing in. There are a lot of suppliers that are using eco-friendly materials, and they're upcycling and recycling products as well. So that was a big theme at the show, and this entire elephant is made from, electronic waste. That's what it is. And then there's some more pictures from the trade show. So if you scroll further down, there are just some products that you can see.
Houseware, tablewares, kitchenware, hotelware, bathroom accessories, lawn, garden, ornament, accessory lamps, light accessories, furniture and accessories, home furnishings and made-ups, carpet, rugs, flooring, bags, luggage, leather goods, Christmas, festival decor, candles, incense sticks, potpourri, aroma, decorative gifts, cane, bamboo, fiber, natural and ecologically based products, stationery and paper, including handmade paper, fashion, jewelry, bags, scarves, and accessories. So there's some examples here.
Yeah.
I can vouch for all of this. Having been to India, all of these things are there.
Yeah. And these are all photos from the trade show. So, these are the products that most of them we actually saw there and took photos ourselves. So if you want to scroll down, further down, there are a couple of more photos. These are just some testimonials. People just had a blast. Oh, that's the Taj Mahal. So we also go to the Taj Mahal and, visit the Taj Mahal as well.
It's one of the seven wonders of the world. The Taj Mahal is a monument of love that Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan built as a testimony to his intense love for his wife. The emperor also desired to create as a symbol of harmony, purity, and spirituality. The Taj is not only a monument of grace and dignity, it is a message to all of mankind that pure love is the soul of life.
Oh.
I'm just reading the comments.
Yeah.
Not my original content.
So that's the group at Taj Mahal. So this is Bollywood night. Oh my God, this was such a memorable night. And if you come to India, you're going to just love this. So what we do is there's this one night where we invite dancers that perform traditional Indian dances. So you see this guy wearing this yellow, bright yellow, colorful dress. This is a traditional dance in India that's from the state of Punjab. It's called Bhangra, and it's a very peppy kind of dance, and they use drums. So it's super loud and super fast. And so this guy was teaching some steps to Tim Jordan and a couple of others. And we also got everybody to wear Indian clothes and Indian attire. And we had this person do henna tattoos, and there were like performances, and we had nice dinner and wine and everything. So it was just so much fun. So that was the Bollywood night. We always do that because I think it's so important to just learn and experience the culture as well. Yeah. So if
now,
you go,
is it fair to say that you guys stayed in a 5-star hotel and enjoyed amazing food?
Yes, absolutely. And I am proud to say that I'm a great host and great event organizer. And gosh, I can't believe I said that. I usually don't talk about myself.
Say it again, it's all true. Listen, I have a message for you. If you haven't been to India on a sourcing trip yet, she is an excellent host and provides you with 5-star hotel accommodations and amazing food. Meghla, tell us about how amazing you are.
Yes, I really,
It's true.
I do. I do take care of my guests, and I make sure that they're very comfortable, that they are well taken care of. And once you I mean, all you need to do is arrive at the Delhi airport, and once you're there, everything else is taken care of for you. We have somebody to pick you up from the airport. They're actually holding, your name on a board, and then you just get into the car. The first thing that you do is you get a SIM card, because once you're in India, you want data, you want to stay connected with your family and everybody, and you don't want to be looking for looking for a SIM card yourself. So we provide the SIM card. So the first thing we do is get you a SIM card, get your data set up. And then we take you to the hotel. There's a nice welcome that we do at the hotel, with garlands and like the traditional Indian welcome. And then you go relax and everything. And every day, you just need to come at a certain point at a certain time. And then, the buses are ready to take you to the trade show for dinners. I actually speak to all of the chefs at the restaurants where we go to, because I want to make sure that the food that we're serving our guests is absolutely perfect, because you don't want something that's too spicy or too oily, because many people coming from overseas, they're not used to that kind of spice level and everything. So I do want to give people a taste of Indian food, but not overdo it. So I actually talk to each and every chef, and I make sure that I design the menu myself to make sure that there's a balance of Indian food and Western food, because not everybody wants to eat Indian food every day, right, when you're on an 8-day trip. So I like to give options to everybody. So I take care of the little things that really make the trip more, efficient and more fun for you. So all you need to do is just focus on talking to suppliers, finding products, and just, focus on your business, and everything else is going to be taken care of for you.
All right. Now,
so
you also have coaches and partners?
Yes. So
Chris
we have a lot of coaches. Chris Thomas from Australia is absolutely amazing. He has a couple of his own brands. He's spoken at the Global Sources Summit quite a few times. Very experienced Amazon seller. Then Margaret here, together with her partner Kevin, they've been sourcing from India for quite a few years. Then Tim Jordan. Tim is also sourcing products from India. He's, of course, everybody knows him. Gary Huang also.
Not everybody knows him, because this is going out to like 50,000 online sellers. They might not know him. So Tim, if you don't know Tim Jordan, it's because you're not going to enough conferences, because he's at a lot of them. So
yes.
Tim is the CEO and founder of Hickory Flats and founder of private label Legion with Norm, the Canadian Norm with the big beard. And 7-figure business in less than a year. And he sources from India, as well as South America and other locations. Like, he sources from all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to
Gary.
Tim.
Yeah, Gary Huang. We also have people specializing in sourcing. So Aaron Hughes is actually based in India. He's American, but he lives in India. He's been living there for quite a few years now. He used to do sourcing. Now he does photography for Amazon sellers. So if you're sourcing from India, I highly recommend sending your products to him for your photography and even videos. And he does listing optimization and everything. And he's, of course, an Amazon seller himself, sourcing products from India and selling on Amazon. Yeah. So that's amazing. Mark Palfreyman, again, he's also very experienced in, working in India as a business person. He talked about cultural sensitivities when you're sourcing from India. So quite interesting. CJ Rosenbaum was there too. Everybody knows CJ.
I've never heard of CJ. Who's CJ?
Oh,
CJ is
my
the
gosh.
partner of Rosenbaum, which is, I don't know what that is. It's a law firm behind AmazonSellerLawyer.com, which I've never heard of. But now I'm finding out. This is how you find out networking. People assume that everybody knows what you know, but you don't know, because some people just don't know. You don't know everything, right? You don't know what you don't know either. So he's a regular speaker at major conferences, including Retail Global and the Global Sources Summit, among others around the world. That's CJ. I had never heard of CJ before.
Yeah, so he runs a law firm. And, interesting, when he went to India, so we were in Delhi, right? The trip was happening in Delhi. But CJ flew to Hyderabad, where the Amazon headquarters are. And you know what he did there? He stood outside of Amazon headquarters, and he was talking to the employees who came on their, smoke breaks or tea breaks outside of the office. And he was standing there for hours just talking to them and trying to find out information. Hey, so what happens when you get, like a suspension thing, and what do you do when you do that? And finally he was there for a couple of hours, and then one of the managers came out and said, excuse me, sir, you need to leave because you're talking to our employees, and that's not good. Then he went to another office.
That, right?
Exactly, yeah.
That. So that's very exciting. That sounds exciting.
Okay. And then we've got a couple of logistics experts. So Manik is customs logistics. He's been doing this for like 12 years. Fantastic. Then Gunjan is a sourcing expert. She specializes in apparel. Rahul Chawla from Kima. He's logistics and quality control. Varun Rastogi also experienced seller, and he has his own brand in India. Hanoz Patel also sourcing. So we have a mix of sourcing and e-commerce experts. Josh is an American living in India. Again, he does a lot of sourcing himself in India as well. Kumud is a wood expert, so she's been focusing on sourcing wooden products from India for 20 years. So everything wood she knows really, really well.
Let me pause you for a second there. Did you know that I worked for Natural Resources Canada in the forestry products division?
Oh, I did not know that.
So I bet you Kumud and I could have some fantastic conversations around, let's say, sandalwood. Very popular in India. Also illegal to harvest, right?
Exactly, yeah. And for exports, it's mostly mango wood that's used nowadays. Oh, okay. And it's the cheapest, most economical wood. So for home products, gift products, it's mostly mango wood.
Excellent.
Yeah. Then Rajat Gupta, also sourcing fashion accessories. And then that's me, yay!
So guys, today I met with your host, Meghla, founder of India Sourcing Trip. With over 19 years of experience in the sourcing industry in India and China, she's attended tens of sourcing trade shows around the world and visited hundreds of factories in India and China for sourcing and to produce research reports. She is a valued conference speaker. She'll be doing a workshop at the Empowery Women's Conference in Las Vegas, July 16th and 17th. She's the organizer of eCommerce conference in Hong Kong and an e-commerce seller. She's an event and trip organizer extraordinaire. So without further ado, here comes part 2 of our 6-hour Sourcing in India presentation. Thank you, Meghla. Go ahead. Tell us about yourself again. For the second part of our 6-hour broadcast.
Yeah, join us at the India workshop at the Empowery conference, and that's where you'll get all the information, all the details.
It's very true. Now, as Rana had pointed out yesterday during Ritu Adaba's interview, maybe we need a second review of the review after the bonus tips. There's so much information we just get.
There's just one more thing.
30 minutes. Yeah,
there's one more thing on the website. If you can just go back, I just want to point out the last section. If you want to go, just scroll down to the bottom. There's something that I want to point out. And this is something that we talked about where you can actually, scroll down the last section. No, keep scrolling. Go to the last section, which is, this one. Yes. Go up. No, that section there. Sponsor a child.
Give hope for a brighter future.
Yes. So these are some of the things that you can do as a brand when you're sourcing from India. So let's say, you are selling, I don't know, whatever. You can say that, hey, for any product that I sell, I'm going to donate, $1 to a certain charity, or I'm going to, sponsor a child for every, $10,000 of sales or something like that. And so what we did at India Sourcing Trip is that I sponsored one child for every attendee that joined the trip. And this is, they didn't have to pay anything extra or anything for it. It was just like $100 per person donated on their behalf to this charity. And they can continue to sponsor the child if they wanted to after the trip. But this is like sponsorship for 1 year for their books and all the basic things. But, India is a developing country. They're go ahead.
I'm going to pause you there. This is not to be overlooked as a business, right? To be able to say that you're supporting people and that you're leading to education, it's real. It's not made up. It's not like a pretend or anything. These are real people. These are real children. They're really learning. I'm willing to bet that they're also getting fed during this, correct? Right? There's probably a food component part of the education. And the reason I know that is I've been to India myself, and you never asked me what I was doing in India, but I'll tell you. I was
Yeah.
there on a humanitarian thing, so I actually
Oh.
taught children in India and fed them the lunches. So I was like
Wow.
running around and giving them the food and that kind of thing. So this is real. They're real people. They really do matter. They grow up. They become adults. You know, they have families. They have brothers and sisters. So I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to let people know this is a real thing. So it's not. This
Yeah.
isn't like there's no ploy or anything. These are human people. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And we actually visited this school as well. So this is a free school that's run by this charity organization for poor kids whose parents can't afford to send them to, a decent school. And so this school is entirely free, and it basically runs on, donations that are sent from around the world. And it's a really good organization that I've been supporting for quite a few years, sponsoring kids at this organization. And we visited the school. That's the best thing. We've been there. We've seen what these people are doing and how they're helping these kids and the infrastructure that they have. So yeah, it's real. It's absolutely real, like you said.
Very true.
Yep.
So if somebody wanted to go on the India sourcing trip in person with you and with the others that are going, how would they do that? When is this happening?
So as of now, it's on hold. We have to wait until things open up and people can start traveling again. But once that happens, then I'm hoping, I don't know, end of this year. I don't know. Let's see how things turn out in October this year, because the trade show is held twice a year, April and October. And so if we can't go this October, then it's April next year. So we're just kind of waiting and seeing how things develop in India and when international travel opens up. And as soon as it's safe to travel, we are going to India. So indiasourcingtrip.com.
So
yeah.
Look at this. We're still live streaming. Just in by Jacob Topping. Go to India, be there firsthand, and there's a website. You can go to http://www, all that stuff. indiasourcingtrip.com/home.
Yeah. And you don't need the home. You can just type in indiasourcingtrip.com.
There you go. And so if you want to go check out the website, India Sourcing Trip, you just click on that link. And if you want to find out what's happening with the secret bonus website thing, you just have to watch our video and find the secret link.
Yeah.
All right, so Meghla,
Okay.
thank you again for coming. Thank you for sharing the India Sourcing Trip as well as information about the Empowery Women Conference that we're going to be both at virtually and in person. July 16th and 17th. It is literally coming up in less than a month, so time is running out. And I just found out today there may be a limit to the number of VIP tickets that can be sold. So if you don't have a VIP ticket and you would like to go, it's $5.99 and it gives you all kinds of stuff. The soiree access, 2 VIP dinners, the videos, both days of all the content, including Meghla's content, 2 lunches, the VIP swag bag, and we'll have dinner together because I'll be there too, and it's going to be exciting. And Meghla's going to be there. She's going to be there virtually. So we're going to take her out to the dinner too. I expect to see you at the soiree, Meghla, virtually on a
Hopefully.
live stream.
Hopefully, let's see.
Screen. That'd be cool if they live streamed you on a big screen. It was like, okay,
Yeah.
here's everybody physically, and here's all the VIP ticket holders that are also virtually, and then you could be on there. That'd be fun. Like on an interactive big screen, you could talk to everybody. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. You should give that suggestion to Melissa.
I'm going to. I'm going to also recommend that everybody watches the replay if you've not seen the entire thing. And if you're watching now, you really, really should click the share button and share this video with other people. And not only that, watch it again because you might have missed something, right? We covered a lot of content. We literally did cover a lot of content, Meghla, because you are super experienced, right? And you'll be giving a full workshop on logistics, quality control, and sourcing in Las Vegas, July 16th and 17th at the Empowery Women's eCommerce Conference. So thanks again for joining me here. And if people want to save money on their ticket, then they can do that by using the code, secret code. We mentioned it earlier. If you didn't get it, you'll have to watch it again. And you can register here. So we'll see you in Vegas. Meghla, anything else that we need to discuss?
No, I think that's it. We had a great discussion. I just want to say thank you so much, Jacob, for doing this and for doing this every day. You interviewed Ritu yesterday. You've got more speakers lined up. It's absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for doing this, and I really look forward to seeing you in person sometime soon, somewhere in the world. Hopefully in India. Hopefully in Vegas. I don't know where. I'm sure we'll meet again.
Move to Canada. We have excellent education for children.
Yeah, who knows?
You
never say never.
You could move. You know what? Tonight you could be like, I had that interview with Jacob this morning, because it's morning for you right now, right? It's like
yes.
And I was thinking, I didn't realize just how good the education in Canada is. I saw Jacob was just reading stuff verbatim right off the website, and he'd never even seen it before, and it sounded pretty good. So he must have been educated very well, and my son could be like Jacob. He could have multiple businesses and a chocolate factory, and he could be attending conferences or writing books, right?
And he could be swimming across rivers.
You could write books like Merch in the World of Print on Demand by Jacob Topping just by having a Canadian education. So this is my little moment to invite you to Canada. Both Meghla and everybody watching live and the replay, I encourage you all to move to Canada for yourself and for your children to have a great education. Very low violence, extremely clean resources. Another bonus tip, just in beep 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 beep. When I swim across the river, sometimes I drink the water while I'm swimming because it is drinkable, like super clean water. So if you want to swim in clean river, just move to Canada, bring your kids. School is free.
How cold is it? How cold is the water?
So today it was a bit colder because last night it got cold. So you are in Celsius, right? And so last night, after the live stream with Ritu, I was looking at the temperature outside, and because I have a giant mega garden. I don't know if you've seen my mega garden or not.
I have.
I have 13 gardens that I planted this year around our house.
Wow.
And the temperature was 7 degrees Celsius outside. So if it was 7 degrees colder, it would be below freezing.
Yeah.
It's very close to freezing. Now, if you are accidentally using the wrong temperature system, like Fahrenheit, that is it was like close to 32 degrees, 7 degrees Celsius above that freezing point. So it was like, I don't know, the low 40s, I guess. Maybe the high the low 40s, low 40 degree Fahrenheit. Mano says, good morning, all.
Hi, Mano. How are you?
Mano. I can tell that it's morning where Mano is, and I highly recommend that to celebrate a new day of new information and vision with Meghla, and to click the share button, because that would help Meghla to expose more people to the India sourcing trip, and also would help Empowery to bring people to the women's conference, which is going to have all women speakers and all women workshop lecturers. I don't know what the word is. The people that give workshops like Meghla. So you can click the share button. You can also copy and paste the link. You can comment. Mano is from India. Thank you, Mano. This is live, so if you're watching live, like Mano is watching live, you feel free to make comments. We had Paul Chang on earlier. He was giving us the diamond hands. Let me ask you this, Meghla. You're in Singapore. You're from India. You have experience in China. What's your perception of cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency is doing quite well over here in Singapore. In fact, I've invested a bit into Bitcoin as well and some of the others. So I like to take a look at my numbers every now and then, and it's kind of going up and down like all the time. But I feel that it's just an investment for the long term. So I've just bought a bunch of Bitcoin and just forgotten about it. And every now and then when it goes down, then I buy a bit more Bitcoin. But of course, I'm not an expert or anything like that. No, I don't have any tips.
Listen, guys, if you're just joining now, we are still live, and you can still comment and ask Meghla, who is secretly buying into Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency markets of the world, and she just gave us a key tip. So I'm gonna, as a former financial advisor and planner with industry experience of more than 10 years in investment finance, I'm going to agree with you. If you buy something when it's lower priced and the price rises, you have the opportunity to sell the thing you bought and realize the difference between the buy price and the high price. This can be called a profit. It's essentially increasing the amount of money you have. So I'm just going to rephrase what you said earlier, just moments ago. It's breaking news. cryptocurrency expert Meghla said, I understand Bitcoin's kind of low right now, so sometimes you just buy in when it's low, and then if it goes up, it brings you happiness. And you can sell it, right? So you can buy and sell it. So you heard it here, cryptocurrency expert Meghla giving some quick tips to buy when things are lower priced. For example, in India, goods are priced lower than in other places, right? Can you give us an example of what the price difference would be? So we were talking earlier about India versus China. So if somebody buys something in India, how much cheaper would it be to make it in India versus making it in the U.S.?
Oh, making it in the U.S. So I'm not really sure about prices in the U.S. And so I wouldn't be able to give a comparison between China and the U.S. But it really depends on the product that you're sourcing. So if it's a wooden product, for example, then it's of course more premium, more handmade. So pricing would be about, I don't know, let's say it's a wooden tray, for example, that's made from mango wood and it has some nice decorative elements and all, and some handwork. So the price of that could range anywhere from, I don't know, $4 to $10-12, depending on the size and the weight and the type of wood that's used and the other materials and all of those things. There's so many different
factors. You say that again? Was that
factors.
In US dollars or?
Yeah, US dollars.
That's very low cost.
Yeah, $4 to $10 sort of dollars. And then you can sell it for, typically, these high-end wooden trays are sold for anywhere above $30, $40, $50 as well.
Hold that
so
thought. I'll be right back.
there's, okay. What's Jacob going to bring now?
All right. So, Meghla, you just mentioned you could get a high-quality wooden serving tray like this.
Ooh.
And she was guessing, what do you think this retailed for in Canada? Is a wooden serving tray.
Is
It
it
could get made in India.
Is it bamboo, or what wood is it made from? Do you know?
Ooh, it is not bamboo. It is a hard wood. It looks like it could be oak. Could be,
Oh.
I don't think it's pine. It's heavy.
That's pretty
And it's been
high
stained
end.
on one side.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually have the price tag on here. When I bought this is old. I've had this for a long time. Guess what it costs in Canada in Canadian dollars. Years ago, I bought this. So this is the price of right with Meghla.
What was the price? I didn't see it. Is it mentioned
Well, I'm going to tell you what the price is. I'm going to guess.
there? Yeah. I would say $45.
You are correct. Actually, that's a good guess. So it was
Ooh.
$42.49.
Oh, I was close.
That's like maybe $38 US in today's dollars, roughly.
Yeah.
And this was the price that we paid for this almost 15 years ago. And so if you buy a hard wooden product, $42.49 is what we paid for it almost 10 years ago. How much might something like this cost to be manufactured in India?
So it'd probably be around, I don't know, $8 or so.
Boards. And then what about with shipping and
Probably
is
8
that
to
including transportation?
No, that's the FOB price, I would say. And I'm just like, guessing over here. Don't hold me to that. You said $8, but I'm finding it for $9. Approximately, it should be around $8 to $10.
Turns out it's only $2. But,
Yeah.
Okay, and then here's another exciting find that you'll only see here live. Can you guess what this is or where it came from?
Horns? Is that no, tree? Is that a tree?
This is the
Something?
root of a tree found under the river I swim across. I actually swam underwater, ripped it out of the ground, and swam across the river holding it. And it's petrified or something. It's like waterlogged, I guess. Maybe waterlogged is the word. It's still wet because I just bought it before the call here. But I'm thinking of turning this into either like something that holds something like this, because it's got like a three-way thing. Or as a stand, it actually sits flat because it was growing in the river and then the river got flooded. So now it was from underwater. And then I could like shave off the top and add something to it, like maybe a camera stand or something. I don't know.
That's very cool.
My wife thought it was pretty cool. I did it because I like to challenge myself when I swim across the river. So sometimes I dive under the river and rip trees out of the ground underneath the river and then swim across the river against the current with my son who may be drowning. just some of the excitement that you can learn about live when you meet us at the VIP dinner in Las Vegas. Maybe have some gold-plated chocolate and talk about ripping trees out of the bottom of a riverbed while you're swimming underwater. Mano, also who is India, said a wooden bedside table in the U.S. is $500. Nice, all nice and carved. The same in India is $120 to $150. Okay, and that's a teak wood. And Mano also says that crypto isn't entering the Indian market anytime soon. So I don't know if there's a story behind that, but maybe. I don't know.
Probably, yeah. In the Indian government is very skeptical if anything like this, and regulations are very strict over there, especially in terms of banking and finance and stuff like that. So yeah, not surprised.
It's very difficult because India logistically is on the earth, so you can ship things anywhere around the planet. You can ship them by air. You can ship them by boat. Whether it's a wood table or whether it's dried agricultural products like coffee or tea. Can I buy cocoa beans? This just in, question from Jacob Topping. Can you buy cocoa beans from India? Is India capable of growing the cacao bean?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, South India is where they produce coffee, and you should be able to buy beans from there. Yeah, absolutely.
That's very good. And if I wanted to create a custom Indian chocolate blend to add to my lineup, because I do have a manufacturing company and I do manufacture gold-plated chocolate bars, which you've had before. They're probably the best tasting chocolate you've had ever. Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever in your life tasted a better chocolate? From any place on the planet? Ever?
It's definitely one of the best that I've tasted, for sure. Very smooth flavor and very distinct. Not too sweet. That's something I really like about it. It's not bitter. It's not like a dark chocolate, but it's not too sweet. So it's just right.
Actually, it's a 70% dark chocolate, but it has a very low sugar content. It's because of the sugar that we use and how we add it and how we process it. But it is 70% cacao beans and 30% sugar. And there are no other ingredients other than the gold that we put on it, which is real 24 karat gold. It's really quite spectacular, and I think it tastes good, but I'm biased because it's my company. But you think it tastes good, and you're less biased because you've had it, right? Let me show you something really fun, because since we're just kind of going on here. See over there?
Sure.
See that shelf?
Yeah.
That shelf right there? It has over 200 competitor chocolate bars. And I literally bought all of them and taste them to see how our chocolate compares. And I would say that our chocolate is better than every one of them. There's one other chocolate bar that has the same beans as us, and when I found out that they were using the same supplier and the same bean that is in our chocolate, I made the executive decision to buy all of that bean for the entire planet and the whole global supply for the year 2019. So in 2019, we were the sole owner of the cacao bean that we use in our chocolate. And I did that because I found out there was one other supplier. So there's some tactics that you can do if you're doing private label and you let's say you have like two or three people using the same supplier. You can just put in a giant order and take all the supply. And then your competition kind of fades away because they sell out and then they can't get any more because you're buying all of it. It's kind of a weird strategy, but it's kind of fun. Just buy it all. That's what we did with our cacao beans. Yeah, sorry. I get super excited. So you could buy cacao beans in India.
You could, yeah. All
right, now we've been live for 1 hour and 52 minutes out of our 1 hour hard stop. So I'm perfectly happy to keep going. What time did you reschedule your meeting to?
About 30 minutes from now.
Okay, so you got some water there. Mano says that's because Indians have $3.2 thousand billion in black currency and Swiss bank accounts already. That's our crypto.
3.2 thousand billion. It's probably just 3.2 billion, not thousand billion.
Well, you never know. So tell me about numbers in India, because numbers are a little different, right? The currency that you guys use in India is the rupee, the Indian rupee still? Right?
Yes. It's and Indian rupee.
What's the exchange rate approximately for $1 to the Indian rupee? Just
I think it's currently 70 rupees. So $1 is equal to 70 Indian rupees. Let me see.
Just a real-time update right now. My financial cryptocurrency expert Meghla is going to tell us the exchange rate.
Yeah, about 70.
Okay. And so, let's say you had $2 or 140 rupees in India.
74.
And you were on the Indian sourcing trip with Meghla and the team. And you wanted to buy something like, you wanted to buy a common product. How about a Coca-Cola product? This is sold all over the world, including India. How much would a can of Coke or a bottle of Coke cost in India?
Mano, answer that. How much does a can of Coke cost in India?
Reporting live from India, we have Mano, who earlier told us the price of a bedside table in India. It's very good information. So
yeah,
Mano,
food is actually very cheap in India. So that's something that, that's one of the advantages of India. The food and all is very cheap. If you go to, like a McDonald's or KFC or something, it's you can probably buy a full meal for, so Coke is 50 cents.
Well,
So that's about,
how many rupees is that, Mano?
so that's about 35 rupees.
Incredibly cheap. That's for a 2-liter bottle. Wow.
Yeah.
How much do you think it costs in Canada for a 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola?
$2.50.
Something like that. Yeah. $2.99, $1.99, $2.99. It's on sale. It used to be much cheaper, and then the price went up due to inflation. And I have seen the prices of things go up because I watched the CPI, which is the Consumer Price Index, and whether you know this or not, you're about to find out if you're watching live. The U.S. printed like trillions of dollars this year with the T, like the letter T, like topping. And when you print trillions of dollars, the value of each dollar that already exists may be affected. The process of things getting more expensive due to more currency is called inflation. And it is already happening in the US and in Canada, and I would expect around the world as central banks print more currencies. What is the Indian sort of response to the slowdown from COVID? Are they printing money? Are they trying to preserve the value of the rupee? Any idea?
I think they're trying to preserve. So I'm not a financial expert, and I don't follow all of that really closely. But they have not printed, money. And Mano, feel free to chime in over here. You're there
This
on
is
the
a live
ground.
conversation, guys. So anybody listening, this is
Mano is our
really
reporter on the ground.
Mano, what part of India are you in? And do you know Meghla? Meghla, do you know Mano?
Yes, I do. And just Facebook. I know him through Facebook. He's been attending our live streams, and he's a budding Amazon seller. He's recently started his Amazon account, and he's starting to source products from India. He's setting up his company in the US now. So, yeah, sorry, Mano, I'm just giving out all your information here publicly.
Here are the
I hope you don't mind.
on Amazon.com. So if you want to compete head-to-head, no, I'm kidding. But you could join us live. So you're in South India, Mano. Do you want to join the live stream? Because, we have the capability.
Ooh.
I can send him an invite. Hold on. Meghla, do you have Mano's Facebook info in your chat? You can bring him on. You can talk to somebody from India that's in India.
Yeah.
Send him that link. I just messaged it to you. We'll bring on. Hey, Mano, do you want to come on the live stream? Special guest, surprise appearance, straight from South India in Chennai. Now, Chennai is on the east coast of southern India, correct?
That's right. Yes.
And it's known for ironworks and manufacturing. It's sort of a producer of like heavy metal things.
Yes, automobiles as well. Just one second. Let me just send the link to him. Mano, it's totally up to you.
Amazing. I would love to talk to Mano live.
So Mano, it's totally up to you if you feel comfortable. It's totally up to you. I've sent you the link. Yeah, I did.
Because it's not too often that you get to the opportunity to do, just got out of bed. It's no problem, Mano. It's no problem. How often do you get the opportunity to do an international live stream from Singapore, India, and Canada in front of tens of thousands of online sellers? This is being simulcast to more than 35,000 members across a couple Facebook groups. So the Merch by Amazon top sellers for newbies and pros, more than 20,000 online sellers there, as well as FBA top sellers for newbies and pros, and there's more than 14,000 members there, mostly FBA sellers. So Mano looks like he's going to come on. He says, "Give me 5 minutes, and I'm on." This is a surprise that happens at conferences as well, right? Imagine you're sitting in Vegas. You're listening to Meghla give a live presentation in real time about sourcing in India, and then all of a sudden, bam, Mano shows up. Mano from South India and Chennai to give us some real-time, on-the-ground reporting. This is the kind of thing that can happen virtually if you have a ticket to the Empowery Women's Conference in Vegas. I'm very excited. Mano's going to join us from India, Tara. Do you have any messages for him? Want to come say hi?
Sure.
Okay. We're letting Mano do his hair and put clothing on and whatever he needs to do. Here's Tara.
Hi, Tara.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Meghla, who I talk to all the time on Facebook.
Cool. I've been watching.
Oh yeah, she's been watching live, so she knows about India sourcing routes now.
Yeah, I want to go on that trip.
Moon, you want to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tara's coming with
Meghla,
us.
I just heard live from my wife, who usually decides what we do, that she wants to go on the India sourcing trip. So let's make this happen.
We are making this happen. Yes.
This is
Tara's
a
getting a
celebrity.
special discounted ticket.
So this is being recorded, Meghla. So people
Yes.
will be able to, we're just gonna get the replay, and I'm gonna save that as a special TikTok video. Meghla live telling us in person that you're gonna get a discounted ticket.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Valid with the purchase of a second ticket. So let me ask you this on the India sourcing trip. So we're just waiting for Mano to come in live reporting from South India in the morning. It's in the morning there. Is there couples pricing? So if two people want to come to the India sourcing trip, do you have special like two-person pricing packages?
Yes, we have different customized, packages available as well. So if you are, if you want a room to yourself in the hotel, then there's a specific price. And then if you want to share a room with somebody.
Yeah, I typically share the room with my wife. I mean, Tara, she wants to know how many people you want in the hotel room. Just me and some other people, or just yourself. There's 3 options apparently. She'll make it happen. I don't know what that means. I'm probably turning red now. You've really embarrassed me in front of Mano, who I'm just meeting for the first time in 5 minutes. We just got out of bed. Okay, well, let's rephrase that. Yeah, just one.
So
room
there are 2
for my
options.
wife and I.
Yeah, I was just talking about the general options.
Oh, okay.
So you could get a single occupancy room. I mean, not you. I mean, in general, that's one option available.
People.
And for people.
Yeah.
And so that's one option. And then the other option is you could get a room with another attendee. So, we can pair you up with somebody if you want to save some money and you want to share a room with somebody. Yeah, you can stay with Tim Jordan for sure. And then the third option that we have is if you're coming with a partner who's not really interested in the sourcing or the business, but they're just kind of, there to accompany you, and they're going to be attending, maybe the cultural programs, and they're going to be doing all of the, like the fun stuff. Maybe go to the Taj Mahal or something like that. So then we have another pricing for that.
If I wanted to bring my protege on the trip, so
Yes.
if they're doing an apprentice on the How to Be Jacob program, their protege could get their own room.
Yeah.
Or they could stay with Tara and I guess, or just.
Yeah, and we're very flexible. Like I'm flexible, and I talk to each person individually and try to understand what their needs are. And some people have special needs as well. So some people tell me that, hey, we don't want, we're vegetarian, or we only want vegan stuff. So we take care of that as well. There were some people who were interested in the trip that were from Israel, and they were more of the traditional Jews, and they wanted, kosher food. So we were going to be arranging for that as well. There was one person who was in a wheelchair, And so we were going to be arranging that too. So yeah, I'm very flexible and I'm very accommodating. I want to make sure that everybody's comfortable and that whatever your needs are, they are met. And it is possible to meet any type of need, that you want, any type of special requests that you might have. It's definitely possible to do that. And yeah, I mean, all we want to do is make sure that you focus on your business and you don't have to worry about, okay, where should I go for dinner now? What should I eat? And how do I get to the show? And,
that's all
whatever
taken
you
care
want,
of.
that's all taken care of. Yes, it's an all-inclusive trip. So you don't need to actually bring any cash with you when you're on the trip because you've paid for the trip and that covers everything. Of course, if you want to do your shopping and, buy stuff, that's on you. But otherwise, you really don't need to spend anything at all once you're there.
So you arrive by plane, you're greeted by somebody with a sign, they take you to your accommodations. On the way there, you pick up a data SIM card for your phone, or maybe even a new phone. I know when I was in India, I bought an Indian phone, it was awesome. And so you have data access and phone access, and data is super affordable in India, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Much less expensive than in Canada.
Yeah,
Canada has
so
very expensive data.
So the SIM card that we get you is, I think, for about $20 or so, and that's unlimited data for, I think, 2 months or 1 month or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's check in on Mano, who was watching live and said he needed 5 minutes. So Mano is going to be joining us shortly. He's from South India, from Chennai, and as soon as we see him into the lobby, we'll go into the podcast, which is extremely unexpected. But yeah, so data is affordable.
Yes, definitely. And then once you come there, we also internet speed is pretty good. I mean, especially in the main cities, of course. There are maybe smaller cities where it might not be that good, but we're mostly in Delhi, so internet speed is pretty good over there. And we're in this hotel, the five-star hotel. So it's the Shangri-La. I don't know if you've heard of that. Is there Shangri-La in Canada? Oh yeah, there is. Okay.
Yeah, the Shangri-La in Toronto and some of the major city centers. How many people live in the larger cities in India? Because I think some people, they understand that people live in India, obviously, and that's a large country total. But what is like the size of the metro area of some of the larger cities in India?
Okay, the population of Delhi. So this is Delhi. Delhi is the capital of India. Is around 19 million.
Okay.
19 million people in one city. So
right.
It is crowded. It's very crowded. Traffic is crazy in Delhi. Some people say that it's organized chaos. That's what it feels like when you're there. And the ride from the airport to the hotel for some people is very eye-opening and very different from what they're used to, because traffic is a bit crazy in India. I'm sure you know that, and there's a lot of honking. All you hear is beep 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 beep.
What about rickshaws? Is that in Delhi as well? I know in Bangalore there was lots of rickshaws. There was different
not
types
in
of ways to get around.
Yeah, there are three-wheelers. Are you referring to the small? Yeah.
Yep.
They're called three-wheelers in Delhi.
Okay.
So those are very popular and very cheap as well, and they're taxis. You don't want to go in a bus in Delhi. But
is there ride-hailing services like Uber and
yes.
equivalent stuff in India?
Yes, there's Uber. Yeah, very popular. There's Uber. There's also.
I was there a while ago. I was there like pre all of that. So I was there in 2009 and in 2011. And so back in 2009, that was some years ago, there was not so much Uber.
Yeah, it's been very recent, and of course Uber is recent, right? I mean, it started when, like 3 or 4 years ago, I think. I mean more. I'm not
Depends
sure.
on where you are. Yeah, in the U.S. It's been around longer, but it branches out. Things grow across the world. So what's the story here with Mano?
Yeah, let me just send him a message.
Mano. It's time now. Come on in.
It's time.
I'm really excited to talk to him, by the way.
I haven't spoken to him, I have to tell you. So I've only spoken to him on Messenger and Facebook, and he's usually there at most of our webinars, even though it's early morning for him. So he sometimes wakes up 6:30 in the morning. Oh, there he is.
All right, we've got Mano.
Oh my God. Hi, Mano. It's good to see you.
Hi, namaste, Meghla ji. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? It's so good to see you.
So we're joined now
Just a
by
minute.
Mano from South India in the city of Chennai, which is on the east coast of southern India. And Mano has
Good to
told
see you
us
both.
that.
Hi, how are you guys? Just a
A
minute.
2-liter bottle of-
I'm just hearing double voices. Just a minute. Just give me a minute.
Oh, no problem. So that's Mano, and then Meghla, and then I'm Jacob, and we're all on the call at the same time.
Just a minute. I'm just hearing double voices. Huh?
Oh,
I think you
have-
need to turn off the live stream. Maybe the live stream is on.
Okay.
Yeah, you're watching and broadcasting at the same time.
Hi. Yes.
All right, Mano. Neither of us have met you before, and now you find yourself live streaming across the world in both Singapore, Canada, and in front of more than 45,000 online sellers. What is the message from India? What's the situation on the street?
Right. It's vibrant. It is happening, and the cases are dropping down. And I'm sure we are back in the market again. And there are a lot of shop suppliers opening up, and yeah, a lot of things are happening as of now.
Okay. And so, what do you do? Are you an online seller in India?
Not in India. I'm just starting to sell in the United States of America.
Okay. And
Right.
like,
My
do you
profession
sell
here,
on
I'm an
Amazon,
architect.
or-
I'm an architect and I'm an interior designer.
Okay. And
Right.
do you sell physical products or digital products in the U.S.?
I'm about to. It's the product research is happening.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Meghla, our guest today? Because she's here live as well from Singapore. I'm just the host. I'm just trying to put it together and connect you guys, just like you could connect from the Empowery Women's Conference virtually. You can buy a ticket and attend in real time, interactively, from Chennai. So
Right.
do you have any questions
I'm-
for Meghla?
I'm first of all really happy that your website's gonna be uploaded very soon, and it's really happening. I really love it. If you could make an entrance right now, can you do that? Just one more time. The private label.
Oh, the intro? Yeah,
The
for
trailer,
sure we can.
please. Yeah.
Yep, we can trailer it right here.
That's how we watch movies here in India.
Do you want to remove the banner at the bottom?
Yeah, of course. See you at the launch. Oh my gosh, guys! If you don't know what's happening right now, you need to watch the whole live broadcast on replay, because we just watched the trailer for Meghla's new website for the India Sourcing Network that's coming to you live on, depending on where you are in the world, July 2nd and 3rd, including prizes, more than 60 prizes. So it's an exciting website launch.
And that's just the trailer. Wait for the movie. That's really
Mano's
nice.
very funny. So, Mano, listen, I understand that you have some connections with some Bollywood movie producers, and you'd like to connect Meghla and the Indian Sourcing Network to produce. Meghla didn't even know this is going to happen. This is a surprise. This is all planned, Meghla. Mano is actually connected to some Indian Bollywood producers, and he wants to create a movie called the India Sourcing Network movie.
Sure, why not?
Mano,
Let's
can
do it.
Take it from here.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Featuring Jacob Topping, Meghla, and directed by Mano.
I like the ring of it. I like it. Yeah. Sure.
All right,
Nice.
so Mano, I can see that you're a passionate person and that you've been tuning in and following Meghla for a while. What can you tell us from the streets of India? What is Meghla doing right, and what does she need to improve on? She
Well,
claims
I
to be an
think- I
expert,
think-
but you're actually in India.
Right. She's got a lot of resources. She is genuinely put time and connected to a lot of people. She's got everything that she needs, and I think she's taking one at a time, and she's moving. And I think she's compiled enough already, and she can do something as huge as Alibaba, and in and around it. I think it can become really massive, because here in India, if given a chance to actually, set things up, they would do irrespective of time. They would do irrespective of time. They are dedicated, like workers worship. So I think that is really gonna boom here in India after all the COVID scene, and people are all the S carbs, C carbs, all the big companies, multinational companies are trying to find space here, negotiate with the government here, and trying to actually move in here because they see this is potential. They'd be able to get better off laws, and they think India is very friendly, and it's true. It actually is. So
And what
I
about
think
e-commerce in India? What's the state of e-commerce as a consumer? So do you buy things online, get it delivered to your home? Online ordering for food during COVID. Like, what's the situation in Chennai?
e-commerce is hot. I'd say e-commerce is really hot because as a consumer, for what I know, United States. Let's take Flipkart. Yeah, United States market is really huge. After United States market, I think India is just literally booming. India is literally booming. 1.2 billion people, and I think mostly things are happening because smartphones are being introduced in everyone's hands, and the ease of access. You order something, and it's not even in competitive with the rest of the world. It's really cheap. And they have most flash sales that happens here in India because they want you to buy things, and it's really hot. Everyone buys. To give you an idea, just before COVID, if I took a history of how much products I've ordered in Amazon, it probably might be, because I'm moving around for my work. It's probably around 80 to 90 products. Just from last May to this May, it's around 350 products I've ordered on Amazon. So it's just
That's an enormous
it's really
increase.
booming.
So you're saying you're like 400% increase in things you buy online?
This is just me.
Right.
This is just me, and I would really like how farsighted Jeff Bezos had vision to actually invest in India. There's a cyber city here in South India. It's called Hyderabad, and he's invested lakhs of
Millions.
Millions. Yeah. I think it's the biggest corporate Amazon office in the whole world as of now.
It is the largest
Yeah.
office of Amazon is there in India. That's for sure.
I think it's the biggest. I think so. Yeah.
And I know Shopify is also investing heavily in India. So I'm from near Ottawa in Canada, and that's where Shopify's headquarters is located. And I've talked with people inside of Shopify who have physically moved from the Ottawa area to India to work there full time and to move their whole family there. And they're setting up teams of people, and there's loads and loads of talent in India. It's if you're not familiar with the country and with the skill sets and stuff, it's super highly educated. Right? It's a democratic country. English is the official language as well as other languages. And Shopify is investing a lot of money in India, as is Amazon and as are other online retailers and tech companies and
Walmart too. So there are basically two main marketplaces, online marketplaces. There's Amazon and there's Flipkart. Flipkart was actually acquired by Walmart a few years ago, and so they're basically two main, competitors in India. Of course, there are lots of other, specialized kind of marketplaces coming up as well, but Amazon and Flipkart, they are the two main competitors over there. So Mano, which do you
The government of
prefer?
India is coming with a marketplace too.
Yeah. Which one do you prefer? Where do you mostly shop?
I prefer Amazon because it's very well streamlined, and it's got a lot of warehouses, it's got a lot of fulfillment centers, and it's acquired a lot of third-party fulfillment centers, and it does it right. If I have a problem, Amazon is the one that gets it sorted the first, because they know what they do and it's all optimized.
Yeah.
And Flipkart's catching up. Yeah.
what
Walmart's
is
catching
delivery
up. Yeah.
times like in Chennai? So if you order something today and it's delivered to your home, what's the delivery time typically on many things?
Okay, let me give you a timeline. back in 2015. It's probably 2 days.
Okay.
Around 2017, 2018, it was a day. And 2020, I had a electronic product ordered sometime in the morning, 9 o'clock. I had it by 3 p.m. afternoon.
Same day.
Right? Some products,
Yeah.
niche products. You people use it the most, like a Bluetooth speaker, like a mouse, like a wireless mouse, like kitchen appliances.
Yeah. And so, is that through Amazon now, or do they have a separate categorization? Like, how would you know if it's going to be quick shipping or not?
Well, I'm a prime customer, and just before a purchase, it tells me that if you do it in the next 20 minutes, you're for sure gonna get it before 3, 4, 5, same day.
Okay. And what other things are unique to India from your perspective, and how might those be helpful to people who want to source in India and sell around the world?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. What are some unique things from India, from your perspective, that would allow people to source from India and sell around the world? Like, especially in Chennai. Like, what can Chennai provide the world with that other places couldn't do?
What kind of products, I guess, right?
Or services,
Right.
yeah, products or services. Things you could sell online.
Well, have you heard of silk sarees?
Silk salaries?
Sarees. It's like
Oh,
it's like
sorry,
a thing
yeah.
that you wear
A
around.
scarf,
Women
yeah.
wear around. Yeah, it's a traditional saree. It's a clothing area. Yeah. So that is really famous here in. Okay. That's really famous here in. So I can talk for the state. Yeah. See, Chennai is the capital. The state is Tamil Nadu. So there's a place here there's a place called Kanchipuram here. The whole of India comes here to purchase for weddings.
Okay.
For their
So wedding
weddings, yeah.
supplies could be sourced in Chennai?
No, mostly
Absolutely, yeah.
saris. Yeah.
Mostly sarees, jewelries. Gold jewelries are really famous here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you could source jewelry from Chennai and export it around the world and sell it.
If gold is allowed to be shipped.
Okay, Meghla, what are your thoughts on this? You do shipping and logistics from India, sourcing from India. So would you say that's a good idea to source some gold jewelry from Chennai?
Sarees, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that, if you're an Amazon seller, then start with maybe something like fabric. So maybe saris, of course, is very, traditional, and people in India would wear, or Indians mostly would wear. But think about the fabric itself. So saris are made from, fabric, and there are lots of different varieties of fabric that's available in Chennai. So what could you make from that fabric? Maybe it could be a cushion cover or a bedspread or a tablecloth, or, how else can you use that beautiful fabric in other types of products? I think that's where you need to be creative and try to use all of the different skills and the types of products that are available. In fact, Jacob, in India, each and every state has a different kind of fabric that they specialize in. And there's actually, if you go search online, there's a map that shows all of the different fabrics that are produced in India. And each state specializes in different techniques to produce the fabric. Maybe it's, the type of fiber that they use. Maybe
Right.
it's the colors, the embroidery. There are certain states that really specialize in embroidery. There are embellishments. Maybe some of them have sequins and, mirror work, and some of them do tie and dye. There's block printing. So there's so many different types of fabrics that are available. And that's a huge opportunity for Amazon sellers, I feel. If you are creative and if you can come up with innovative ideas, unique ideas to use those fabrics in everyday products, I don't know, aprons and gloves and,
Right.
I'm just thinking of all of the fabric type of things that we use, polyester and all those kinds of materials. And you could actually upgrade those daily use products by using these very unique and innovative fabrics.
Right.
And how about, so what is the fabric of Chennai?
Yeah, like I said, silk sarees, silk attires. It could be into anything like a draper. It can be for curtains, blinds, pillow covers that they use in 5-star hotels. Mattress covers. It can be on top of ottoman. It can be basically fabric that goes on anywhere. Like Meghla ji said, you could source this to fit anything with it, any product, to cover any products. So basically, on the ready-made silk saris that from the south to north, all of India, women they wear on very important days, spiritual days, occasional traditional days. Saris are the thing.
Yeah.
So that is really silk saris, especially is famous here in India, South India, Tamil Nadu, Kanchipuram in Chennai, and yeah, and fabrics
And
too.
so-
You can buy it.
Do you think
On
you'll
the
come to
wholesale.
Las Vegas next month and join me live at the conference?
I don't think
Sure.
it's. Are you allowed to
Well,
travel?
Yeah,
I'm not allowed to
Ritu has
travel.
an Indian passport. She's coming from Canada to Las Vegas, right? She has an Indian citizenship. She's going to the conference from Canada. So maybe
Okay.
maybe you'd like to come to the conference in Las Vegas.
I'll hope so. I'll try to make it.
Okay, well there's a link. There's a link in the live show that you're on right now. Also, what advice would you give for some people that are learning, and will pick up some advice from Meghla at the conference? Do you have any tips?
I'm sorry. I'm not able.
Do you have
it's
any
not
tips
audible,
on how somebody could learn about India better?
sorry. I would direct them to Meghla ji.
That's you, Meghla.
That's
You're getting
me.
a shout out from Mano. Mano's like,
Yay.
listen, I've been listening to Meghla. I would recommend you listen to Meghla. That's a
Yeah,
compliment.
because
That's like a
she's got
real
so much
time.
information. She has got so much information. I'll tell you what. See, so in India, a lot of things, a lot of these sourcing things happens mostly in the central and the north portion of it. And I'm sure Meghla ji knows more about the north portion of it, because I'm down from south.
Yep.
Yeah, and
So-
when you are in India, there are two different types of markets in India. One is the export market, and one is the domestic market. So many times when you are in India, even though you're using all of the products that are made in India, you may not be aware that these are the products that are being exported, because the products that are exported are of a different quality, they're of a different variety, they're different colors. So there's a huge difference between the products that are exported and the products that are used in the domestic market. For example, in the US, people prefer more toned down colors and more neutral colors, whereas in India, it's all about color and bright colors and vibrant colors.
Okay.
So those kinds of products won't work in the US. And so that's why there's a huge difference between the products sold in the domestic market and those that are exported. And that's also why you want to focus on selecting export experienced suppliers when you source from India. You don't want to source from suppliers that supply to the domestic market only, because they will have no idea of what products are popular in overseas markets. So that's why it's really important to choose your suppliers really, really carefully.
Mano, let me ask you
That's
a
right.
question real quick. You're in Chennai. You're in India. Have you ever heard of sidewalk chalk? Sidewalk chalk.
Sidewalk. I know sidewalk. What is chalk?
Chalk is like, when you're teaching somebody on a chalkboard,
Right.
Like a
Right.
blackboard.
a blackboard with
Okay,
white
yes.
chalk usually,
Yes.
and you're writing on the blackboard. Have you ever heard of sidewalk chalk?
No, sir.
All right, so that's like 4 for 4. I think sidewalk chalk has a large international market they could appeal to. So let me tell you about it. Sidewalk chalk is like giant pieces of chalk, the same kind of chalk you would have on like a blackboard, and it comes in
Okay.
many different colors. And parents often in the U.S. buy it for their kids, and then the kids go and they draw with the chalk on their driveway or on the sidewalk or on the road. And like a retailer could use sidewalk chalk to draw on the street, right? And like direct traffic to their store, or kids could just have fun with their friends and play and like maybe draw out games on the road with chalk. And then when you want to get rid of the chalk, it's powdered chalk, right? So you just wash it off with water, disappears. Anyways, the inventor of sidewalk chalk is going to be at the Empowery Women's Conference in Las Vegas in July 16th and 17th. So I'm just curious, because I wasn't really sure about sidewalk chalk, and Ritu had never heard of sidewalk chalk, and Meghla wasn't sure about sidewalk chalk, and Manu from Chennai in India, not too sure about sidewalk chalk. So I'm just trying to figure out like how many people know about the sidewalk chalk.
Not many. Looks like
Out of curiosity.
there is an opportunity for her to expand globally and make more people aware of the product.
Yeah, it's been around for like 30 years. Like it's really,
Yeah.
really a famous
Oh.
type of product in the US. So
Okay.
this is an example. When you take a product that may be very popular, let's say in India, and then you discover it for the first time being from another place, like when I went to Canada, I discovered all kinds of stuff I'd never even seen before. You can bring that to another country and you could dominate the market for it, right? So like Mano, if you started selling sidewalk chalk in India, you could be possibly one of the few people that sell it in India, and maybe it would explode and you would have the same kind of market share that they have in the US, which is like millions and millions of dollars sold in sidewalk chalk. You know, it could be a new product to over 1 billion people. You know, like, this is the kind of opportunity you have when you go to India and source and then bring it back to, let's say, Germany, or you bring it back to the UK, or you bring it back to the US or to Canada or wherever. You can source products that people aren't even aware of and bring it to people or from people, both ways, right?
Yeah, works both ways.
Right. I look forward to seeing you at the fair.
Well, you can come too. I mean, you don't have to just look forward to seeing her. But you can get a virtual ticket, right? So, Mano, do you think you'll get a virtual ticket maybe to join Meghla's workshop next month in July 16th, 17th? Okay.
Of course.
So you can do that, and you can encourage people that you know to do that, and you can all interact live, real time, in person, kind of like we're doing here. I understand it's going to be small groups, and Meghla's going to be joining from Singapore virtually, but we're clearly able to ask and answer questions just in digitally, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So, do you have lots of kids? Like, do you have children?
Well, I'm single.
Okay. You heard it here, guys. Mano is now single and available in India if you're in the Chennai area, or if you'd like to go and meet Mano. He's a handsome-looking dude. I understand you're in architecture, so highly skilled. Launching products in the U.S. coming up, so could be a little connection here. You could be meeting your future spouse through this live stream, Mano. You never know. I'm serious.
Yeah, you never know. So, Mano, what attracted you to e-commerce? And I mean, you're an architect, and you have a totally different profession. But why are you attracted to e-commerce?
I knew nothing about e-commerce just before the COVID.
Okay.
So since I was not able to work on my side for my clients, I started socializing with a lot of people, and I came to know what they were doing, what their side hustle was. It's really great to know that they've been side hustling from all the way from 2012, 2010 on all these platforms, starting from eBay, pushing off to Amazon, and starting their own Shopify store. It's really nice, So that's the thing. I wanted to venture the market. So basically, with my experience, I've been sourcing from China from 2010 for all my customers here in India, for all their interior products, for like the couch, the dining table, the beds, the mattresses, and all that. So my sourcing is not on Alibaba or not virtually. I travel to various parts of China.
Oh.
So I go to China, I go to Shanghai, Ningbo, I go to Guangzhou, I go to Shenzhen, I go to all these places. I get to talk with them. I travel with the actual bosses. I go to their factory. I see the quality. I do all in all. So I go there. So I order it. I tailor it, and then I get it back to India. So that one advantage is it's really close for me staying in India to visit China, and my shipping time takes less than 15 to 17 days, all inclusive.
So that's like 2 weeks, basically.
Right. So that is the major part of e-commerce. So I thought, when I know that a decent amount, I thought the other places where I have to concentrate, and that's why I thought this would be like this would be better off for me to since I know the other half of it. I have to learn the other half. So I thought I'd do a good job here in e-commerce, but it's just a start again. Wish me luck, guys.
Very good.
Definitely.
Luck. So what platforms are you looking to sell on when you're importing the products from China to India, right?
It's also from India. So sourcing from India.
Okay. What
mostly
platforms
furniture.
do you sell on? What do you sell on?
wooden furnitures.
Which
But where
platforms do you sell?
Or do you sell online
Oh,
at
as
all?
of
Is it just
as of now, I tried doing it on eBay, but I'm gonna do massive on Amazon.
Okay, and do you sell these things in a retail? Are you a retailer as well? Do you retail them now, offline?
Here in India, yes.
Oh, so you have a store?
Not exactly. I have a showroom where whatever I bring from China, I put it there for people to see. I invite them
Okay.
for tea. If they like it, pick it.
Wow, that sounds pretty neat. And you've been doing that for a few years,
Couple of years, yeah.
and then you've decided this
So
year
you don't
maybe.
you don't pay it. You don't pay upfront. We bring it to your house. We find the perfect corner. We stage it in your house, and bring a smile on your face, and then pay us.
That's a amazing service. Is this
People
a
in
common
India
thing
like
in
it.
India?
People in India like it, and that's something that Jeff Bezos saw it on the earlier time when he brought Amazon on the early stages in India. He named it cash on delivery. So it's called COD, cash on delivery. He delivers the product right to your hand. It doesn't matter if it's $10 or $1,000.
Yeah.
You take the product in your hand and you pay by cash or digital currency.
And that's
Cash
something
on
that I
delivery.
don't know if it's available in other countries, or maybe it's just a unique thing to India and maybe some other countries in Asia. But yeah, cash on delivery is big. And so that basically means that you buy the product, it's delivered to your home, and then you just pay the guy either cash or via, a digital currency. So, but I don't think that's available in Canada or the US. Is it, Jacob?
It's not super common now, but in the past it was. So it's sort of something that was more popular. Particularly, I think if people were doing mail order catalogs, right? So they would send out a book of different products you could get, and one of the payment options when you received it in the mail was cash on delivery. But as an adult, I've never paid anything cash on delivery except for food products, right? So if you get a pizza delivery, it'd be cash on delivery. If you order takeout, it'd be cash on delivery. But products, generally speaking, they're paid for and then delivered in Canada. I'm not too sure if there's even a way to do cash on delivery outside of food
No,
products.
it's basically
in
for
Canada
two
that I've
reasons,
noticed
I would
anyways.
say. It's basically for two reasons, I'd say. One, you gain people's trust. Generally, the feeling of scam is more here. People in India, they do not use more of credit cards. It's never credit cards at all, It's
Right.
mostly debit cards. Debit cards actually entering the market. It's more of cash.
Yeah, and
So,
here in
to
Canada,
gain
cash is
people's
almost
trust.
non-existent. Yeah.
Right.
Like here, it's almost nobody carries cash unless they expect to use cash. Then they might get some. But almost everybody here has a bank account. As an adult, you would have a bank account, and every bank account automatically comes with a debit card. So all the retailers would have debit. And in terms of payment processing in Canada, it's all pretty much tapped. So you just tap the card.
Right.
Some digital payments are gaining some traction. So some people don't even use a card; they just use their phone.
Right.
Maybe with Android Pay or Apple Pay. I believe
Google
in
Pay,
China, digital payments is like very much accelerated. But you're saying in
Alipay,
India,
WeChat
cash
Pay,
is still very much alive and well, right?
So
Yeah.
he saw the opportunity and he introduced cash on delivery, which is a huge boom. Trust me, it's really nice. You don't have to pay until you actually see a person who brings it to you, and he says, "Here is your computer, here is your hard disk, here is your phone cover," and so on.
Cool.
So that's something that I imply to my work as well. So they see the product, we stage in their house, and once they're happy, we take cash.
Is that something that's common in Chennai, where people would take product and stage it there before they decide what they want to buy? Or is that something?
Well, if you have a background of architecture and interior designing, if you have a degree, of course, you can. If not, if you're just a furniture man, they wouldn't have the idea of where to stage, how to stage, what to place it on top of the table, if it's a side table, or how else you could do the space or something like that. And that's a good introduction as well.
Are you an interior designer then?
I'm an architect and an interior designer. So basically,
Okay.
I plan houses, I construct houses, and I stage the houses. It's all in all a package.
Interesting.
Just like how you move into a hotel, you just bring your clothes and you'd fit. I'd have everything for you, from the air conditioner, from the TV, from the bed, from the fridge, toaster, oven, everything. I'd have it ready for you, like a turnkey service.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty cool. Meghla, do you have any other questions for Mano?
I'd like to share my website here if you'd like to have a look at it.
I don't know if I can share your website, Mano. But
I
you can
see.
send it to me and I'll take a look and then I can put a link to it.
Yeah,
Or you can
I'm just sending it on private chat.
Oh yeah, for sure. You could also you could put it in the comments to the live feed because we're still live. There's people watching live, and if other people have questions for Mano, you can do that. So I see your website there. I don't know if I can share it yet because we just met, so I apologize, but I'm a little cautious.
No
to
problem,
share,
that's okay.
Share the site. You can definitely look at it though, and Meghla can also look at it. We're both looking at it right now. So Mano, what time is it there?
It's 8:20 morning.
8:20 in the morning. So you are
Mhm.
about 8:20. It's 10:49 p.m. here. It's 10:49 a.m. in Singapore.
Yeah.
Right.
So India is 2.5 hours behind Singapore.
Does Chennai have like a half a time zone? Like a half hour?
It's all a
difference?
single time zone.
Is all of India
is-
one time zone?
Yeah.
That's right.
Ah, okay. That's very convenient. Canada has like 5.5 or 6 time zones.
Wow.
And in India, the time zones don't change, so there's no like winter timing, summer timing, because that also makes things confusing in the US. And of course, it's required, but India is
in
just
Canada we have
straightforward.
winter
daylight
here.
savings time, so it is confusing.
Not
Yeah.
at least not in South India.
Yeah, there's no winter. It's more of tropical climate.
Right. It's actually raining outside.
Is it like one of those monsoon rains, like super raining?
That's right. That's right. It travels from Tamil Nadu here in Chennai and goes all the way to Kerala. So this side of South India. So both are coastal regions.
And then it moves towards the north of India, so that's how the monsoon season, starts in the south and it moves towards the north around this time. So it starts in June. In June, July, August, there's sort of the monsoon season all over India.
Mano, I've checked out your website. Looks pretty cool, and you also have a blog, and you have your contact information there. So I'm gonna post it in the comments. People can go check it out. If somebody wanted to buy something from your website and they're located not in Chennai, how does that occur?
Not in Chennai?
Yeah,
Well, if it's
I'm in
a
Canada.
project
If I
or
want to
if
use your website, you're not gonna fly to Canada to stage furniture, right?
yeah, we can virtually design your place and suggest what would fit right in the right places.
Okay.
And to give you a perspective, there are two places which imports and exports. The shipping ports, the two important ports in India are there's one in Mumbai and the other one is in Chennai.
Okay.
Happening for all India.
Meghla, would you agree with that? Does that sound-
Yeah, yes. And Mumbai is the main port, that Amazon e-commerce sellers would really ship from, because most of the products that Amazon sellers would source would be from the north of India. So maybe, there'd be like wooden or metal products, gift and home products from Moradabad, which is in the north, or wooden products from other cities. So you'd mostly ship from Mumbai. That would be the main port for you. And then you'd go to the east coast of the US, probably New York, via the Suez Canal, if you're shipping by sea. And then if you're sourcing,
exports happen, yeah.
yeah, most of exports, correct. Yeah, you're right. Most of exports happen from
Most
there.
of export happen from Mumbai, but imports it's easier, because if you had to import from Vietnam, China, Singapore,
Yeah.
Australia, Malaysia, Chennai is easier. If not, you have to go all the way around the peninsula to reach Mumbai.
Correct, yes, because Chennai is on the east coast, so it's easier to import stuff from China. Oh, what happened? Where did Jacob go? It's just the two of us now. Is he there? Jacob, where are you?
I'm still here.
Very,
I'm here.
very happy to meet you.
Are you there?
Gandhi.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
I'm just trying
What
to see
happened
what the
then?
options are here, so you guys can chat together. So, yeah. So, Mano, thank you for joining the live stream. It was fun, unexpected.
Thank you for inviting
thing.
me. It was a surprise. I was on.
Even you didn't know you were going to be in the live stream. This is the kind of
No.
thing that happen at conferences as well, right? So, again, the
Thank you for
Empowery
having me.
conference, it is happening, and Mano's going to be in the virtual ticket, so you can talk to Mano from Chennai in India. He'll be joining us virtually in Las Vegas, July 16th and 17th.
Yes.
I think this is fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you agreed to join us here spontaneously from India. I hope that the rain, the monsoon rains are safe, and I know that can be an issue if there's too much rain, right?
Right.
Let me ask you this: have you ever swum across a river in India?
Yeah, in my native town. Yeah, I have.
And were you able to drink the water while you were swimming?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so it's drinkable. And
Yes, it is.
Okay, I encourage you to friend me on Facebook and follow my adventures because I swim every day, 7 days a week, and I also eat a lot of vegetables. And then I post a daily update picture. So, see, we're meeting each other as a result of networking and conferences. This
You
is
swim
kind of an
every day,
exciting
really?
thing. Yeah, we could be friends.
It's
Maybe
true.
I'll come visit you in Chennai. You could come to Canada. I literally have a maple tree in my front yard, and we make maple syrup.
Wow.
Just for fun.
And you
Yeah,
live by the river, right? I mean, the river is right
I do.
by your house.
So,
That's amazing.
I live right by the Ottawa River, which is one of the 10 largest rivers in Canada. It's about 4 kilometers across, like from one edge of the river to the other edge of the river. It's a giant river. And it's 1,200 kilometers long. It
Wow.
goes through the capital city of Ottawa, which is where it gets its name, the Ottawa River. And if I look out my window, I can see the Ottawa River from my house. Like I overlook the river.
Okay.
The river that I swim across every day is not the Ottawa River because that takes about 3 or 4 hours to swim across. The river that I swim across every day is called the Mano River, and it is approximately 1 kilometer to swim across round trip. So it's about 500 meters each direction, and it is an actual river with like a current, and it's quite deep. So I cannot touch the bottom. I can't see the bottom. It's just like a very deep river. And we have power dams on either side of the area that I'm swimming. So if I don't swim fast enough, I could get sucked into a hydroelectric dam. And
Oh my gosh.
so yeah, especially on the hot days when people are using electricity, they do run the water through the dam faster. So I can literally feel it. And right now,
What is the lake that's that's in between Canada and Michigan, Detroit?
Lake Michigan probably. But so the Great Lakes between Canada and the U.S. There's the Great Lakes, and there's 5 Great Lakes. So there's Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, and I'm not sure which. It depends on what location exactly. So Detroit.
Because the closest I've seen Canada is from the GM Renaissance Building, 75th floor in Detroit. Now it gets a good view across the lake and partial Canada that side.
I think that's probably Lake Ontario.
Okay.
I'd have to look. I mean, I'm not sure because I just can't think of it right now. It's almost 11 p.m. I'm sleepy. But yeah, no, I think it might be Lake Ontario because Lake Ontario has Toronto and Hamilton, Niagara Falls, and around. So actually, it's on the other side of Niagara Falls. So it might not be. It might be Lake Erie to Detroit because across the border from Detroit would be Windsor, Ontario. It's in southern Ontario. It's about a 7.5 hour drive from my house. To drive there on a super
Beautiful
highway.
view. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. So what were you doing at the GM headquarters in Detroit?
Well, there's a restaurant. There's a restaurant on top of I think it's on the 75th floor. And I visited my uncle who lives in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan.
Okay. Cool. What does he do there?
He works for automobile company.
Makes sense. Detroit's known for that.
Right.
So that makes sense. Well, let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on Tesla? Because you're in Chennai, you have a unique perspective from India. And in the U.S., Tesla seems to be selling like hundreds of thousands of cars around the world. They have the factory that they're building in Germany, one in Shanghai, and a few of them in the U.S. Do you think Tesla will set up a factory in China? And if they did, or not in China, in India? And if they did, do you think that that would be popular? Like, what's the perspective from your viewpoint?
They had an opportunity to set it up way back in 2014, but the biggest problem here would be to set up the charging stations.
Okay.
So unless and until you actually have that well streamlined and set up, if you have that charging stations ready, I'm sure Tesla is going to be a big success here in India.
Have you seen Teslas? Like, do people on the street, would they recognize a Tesla, or is that something they're familiar with? Or
Not very much as of now, no.
What about other EV manufacturers?
Well, we have domestic EV manufacturers who are doing pretty decent, but it's quite expensive, and we do not have charging stations. The whole point is you charge you charge from your home, and that's about it. You got to bring it back to your home, and you cannot have it. You cannot have a tour. You cannot travel from one place to another, and they are trying to bring it to supermarkets for two-wheelers. And I'll tell you, before Tesla could actually get a big market share, two-wheeler. Electric two-wheelers are going to be huge. There's one service called Ola, just like Uber in the US. They're going to do a massive two-wheeler electric services.
And so, do you have an electric motorcycle then, or electric?
I don't drive a bike. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
It's comparatively not safe here in India.
But a lot of people do drive motorcycles and scooters, and it's very popular. In fact, I used to drive a scooter when I used to live in India, go to college. I used to drive a scooter, so yeah, it's very popular in India.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap things up, guys. Again, Mano from Chennai, thank you for joining us spontaneously live, literally from India. I'm looking forward to. Yeah, no problem. I'm looking forward to talking to you live in the virtual sessions. If we take the same workshops, I'll see you there in Vegas live.
Thanks a lot, Mano.
Live virtually. So we're gonna.
Thank you, Meghla.
Mano's gonna head out here, and then Meghla also needs to go, and I also need to go. So this live stream's gonna kind of fall apart here. But when I say fall apart, I mean after 3 hours of talking about sourcing in India with Meghla. Who is in Singapore right now. It's the morning, so it's 11 a.m. for you there. And Mano, thanks again for coming on. I appreciate it. The miracle of networking, right?
I know, it's amazing. Like, it's we're on different continents, and we're together. So awesome, yeah.
Cool. So Mano's going to get a virtual access live in real time and interactive, just like we did here. The link will be in the live stream. Check it out. Mano, before you buy your ticket, use the code. You'll save 15%. You'll have to pay less money that way. If you want to pay less money, you can. So the code that you would type in at checkout is JT Empowery Women 15. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the conference, Meghla, virtually, and Mano from Chennai, South India.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So we're going to end the live stream here, and Meghla and I will have a quick chat, and then that's it.
Yep. Thanks so much, Jacob. It was a lot of fun. Bye.
Bye.